Says we're live here. Once we get some people coming into here, then I will get us started. Once I start seeing a few people starting to make their way in here. Give it a second. Let the stream go live.
So do you have like regulars?
Yeah, we do have some regulars, and I imagine that a couple of them are going to be here today. I'm sure that a couple of them will make their way in here shortly. But once we get a couple more, all right, we got some people in here. So welcome back, everyone, to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. And today it is the subscriber live stream edition. Today I bring with you two new subscribers on here. We first have Jake McLean. Jake, how are you doing today, man?
I am doing great, Derek. Excited to be on.
And also we have my friend Josh, who obviously is my friend from college. I've known this guy for about 5 years. This dude's one of the funniest dudes I've ever met. Josh, how are you this evening, man?
I'm doing fine. You know, I'm glad to be a part of this one.
I told you I was going to get you on one, and I came through. I knew when I had an opening to get you on here. But first, guys, we had some very unfortunate news today from the Colts universe. We just found out today that Howard Mudd is passed away. They pulled the plug today. He was in ICU for 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks after a motorcycle accident landed him in the hospital.
Can you hear Derek, Josh?
Nope.
No, Josh or Derek. I think your mic cut, man. I think he's. No,
he doesn't know.
He's talking really in depth about Howard Mudd and what he meant to the Colts. And
yeah,
Derek, can you hear us, man?
I got you. Yeah, my mic cut out there for a second. Yeah. Convenient timing there, but that was our moment of silence. Thank you guys for that. We just wanted to start that one off because Howard Mudd was very respected in this Colts organization. Great coach, great man. Anyone will tell you that. Frank Reich has a really great story about that. So guys, we're not going to answer any questions. If you do have any questions about Howard Mudd, don't ask us those today. That's not what we're going to be going into today. Just not something that we really need for today, but be sure, guys, to ask us anything football related. All right, let's talk about some Colts football. Let's talk
Derek,
about what's up,
Derek. Before we start, hi Toby, I see you in the chat.
I was gonna get to that here soon. But yeah, so Josh, make sure you're turning off your freaking phone too.
Yeah, I'm fixing it. It's just getting loud.
Yeah, I got you. Just turn your freaking volume off. But anyway, ask us some questions in the chat, guys. Let's get some fun action going here today. I got two great guys here, two guys who definitely bring a lot of energy, a lot of great laughs. And guys, I wanted to ask this first question from you guys. This was something we got asked. I can't remember where we got asked this yesterday, but this is a good question. In a boxing match, who would you take winning? Quentin Nelson or DeForest Buckner? I think Cody and I said Quentin Nelson, mainly due to the fact that Quentin Nelson knows jiu-jitsu. Okay, he knows jiu-jitsu. Whether or not that would help him in a boxing match, I don't know. But we do have knowledge that he does that. I know DeForest Buckner is a little taller. I know DeForest Buckner's a little longer with his arms. But, I mean, Quentin Nelson, that dude's crazy. I don't know what you guys think.
Quentin Nelson is a beast, but I think Buckner would have the reach on him a little bit.
All right.
I mean, knowing that I did not know that Quentin Nelson knew jiu-jitsu, that's actually terrifying. Such a large man could completely dominate on a ground game level. But I think DeForest Buckner, I mean, he's got the power, he's got the size. I think his reach would be would outmatch Nelson just a little bit. But if Nelson could get his hands on him and take him to the ground, Nelson all day.
Josh, what are you thinking?
You see, I gotta go with Quentin Nelson on this one because he brings the power when DeForest Buckner brings the reach, man. I think though, and I'm still sticking with Quentin Nelson, but I'm just gonna say that maybe it's due to the fact that he's used to getting, like pretty much pushed around and like punched out and all that, and he can take a hit. And I just think that the money is safe, knowing that Quentin Nelson could beat DeForest Buckner in a boxing match. I am still happy though, and DeForest Buckner, if you want to send me an autographed jersey, I'm waiting for it. Because I was excited. I was excited for when you came to the Colts, just like everybody else. It was a match made in heaven, man.
Hey, I think there's still some undercard spots for that Mike Tyson boxing event.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, can we make this happen somehow? Yeah. Can we make this happen somehow?
You know what? I want to make it happen. And chat, if you really want to get into an argument, here's how you do it. Who you got in an arm wrestling match? Terry Crews or The Rock?
The Rock. 100%. You're not
going to take Terry Crews?
Absolutely. The Rock.
You're not going to take
I love me some Terry Crews, but The Rock.
I'm convinced The Rock's not even human. So I got
Yeah, I guess that's true.
All right, let's get into a few comments here before we get into some other stuff.
All right,
Nisky Cap says he's not going to be able to get on, but try to catch the next one. That's all right, Nisky Cap. You're all good, man. I'll be late again, sadly, being about 5:10, 5:15. I think he's talking a little later, but that's cool, man. Tristan, we're so glad to have you here. FaZe Waterhose is in here. What's up, dude? Glad to have you in here. One Man Dynasty says Rip Mud. Thank you, sir. Appreciate those. Hey, Elliot Crabtree, my guy in here. My Jaguars fan that's always in here. What's up, dude? Good to have you in here. Our friend Toby, Josh and I's friend Toby. Hey, what's up, Toby? Glad to have you in the stream, man. Be sure to he's saying, Josh, turn your volume up a bit.
I know, yeah. What I said when I was like, all right, Toby, I'll do it.
Yeah, and that's the conversation we always have with you in Discord. Yeah, so Fitty Rap here. Derek, did you ever get to check out the Colts movie on the channel? No, I did not. I wasn't able to get that. After the stream yesterday, I was drained mentally, so I'm just not going to do it for now, but I'll get it at some point. I got DeForest, but honestly, in a boxing, I'm taking Justin Houston over all of them. Okay. All right. Interesting note there, but name your AFC South predictions. I'm not surprised if you picked the Jags last. Colts, Titans, Texans, Jags. Jake, what are you thinking?
I'd have to agree. I think the Colts, I've been playing around. I've been looking at the schedule a lot. It's either 11-5 for me or 10-6. I think that's going to be enough to do it. I think the Titans will come up a little short. I see the Texans taking a stiff, decline with the exit of D-Hop, and the Jags will probably not only end up last in the AFC South, but last in the entire NFL. So, sorry.
Wow, you're already calling them last in the NFL. Okay, interesting.
Trevor Lawrence, though.
Oh, good Lord. Josh, any change to that at all?
I'm gonna go deep, man. I'm gonna say it. We're going 15-1, man. We're gonna do it. We're gonna run through this.
Okay, who's the one loss?
The Ravens.
The only loss all season.
The only loss all season, man. Philip Rivers is gonna bring us to the promised land. You got to believe. DeForest Buckner, he's going to believe. You just got to believe, man. I believe in our Colts. We're going to go 15-1. Nothing's going to stop us. Nothing's ever going to get in our way. Man, oh, man. If you smell what Quentin Nelson is cooking in his pancake shop.
Oh my gosh! Have you guys seen? You guys have obviously seen the Pancake Robot remix at this point, right? The NFL did.
Yeah.
I can't stop singing that. I can't stop doing it at any time. Why y'all make fun of my name? I mean, I'm sorry, dude. I'm not making fun of you personally. I'm just making fun of the name because it's FaZe Waterhose. I mean, it's funny. It's a good name. I think it's funny.
Right. And I will give you credit. I love the JPEG of a random hose as your picture. It just adds to everything about you, FaZe Waterhose.
That's great. I love that.
Great, man. I love it.
Simon Kirsch, what's up, guys? Hey, from Germany. All right, we got another guy from Germany. I mean, our friend Toby is in here. He's from Germany, so got a couple guys from Germany. That's another person that's told me they're from a European nation. I've had a bunch of people that have told me they're fans of this podcast from there, so it's interesting. Face Waterhose Gardner Minshew is going to prove everyone wrong, and the Jags is going to surprise everyone. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but we'll see maybe. Jack Adams in here, my boy Jack. What's up, dude? Good to have you in here, man. Good to have you in here. All right. So now that we got through a couple things, we'll let the chat kind of get some more people going. I see Toby has a question, but we'll get some more here later. But first thing I want to know is how you guys became Colts fans. Because Jake, you were telling me your story. I want to know your guys' story of how you became Colts fans. Jake, we'll start with you on this one.
I was telling Derek before the live started is, I didn't ever really have a choice. I was born into a Colts family. I was born into a Colts family that lived in Indiana. I was born in Indianapolis. And, my fandom really didn't start personally probably until maybe the 2003 season. And me and my family actually were living in Northwest Arkansas. And me, my dad, and my brother went to in 2004, we went to the Kansas City versus Colts game on Halloween. So it was 45-35. They scored 7 touchdowns and we scored 5. So, it was a huge, talk about a game, you know what I mean? And, so it really started there. And, being able to watch, the greatness of Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison and Edgerrin James and, even seeing the greatness of Trent Green and Dante Hall and Larry Johnson, of some of the other players that were on the Chiefs team that day. It really sparked a lot, and it's turned into a passion that I've had for, coming up now on almost 20 years. So followed them very, very closely. I've been to many training camps and many, I've been down on Lucas Oil Stadium, the field. I've been to the RCA Dome. I live in Southeast Texas now. So me and my dad and my brother actually go to the Colts and Texans game every year.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, my story's kind of the same. Growing up, Dad was a huge fan of Peyton Manning. So that's kind of what we did, started off as Colts fans and never really stopped. We just continued to be fans. And I think my first remembrance of an actual game that I actually remember watching was when I became a fan was 2006 season after they won the Super Bowl against the Bears. I remember staying up watching that game. It was the first time that my parents actually allowed me to stay up however late I wanted to watch that game. And it was a school night too. So of course I was pumped that I was going to get the chance to actually watch it. And that's basically it. And then, I started getting involved with this team a little more in 2017 and just kind of kept going with it. And now all of a sudden here I am doing podcasting for the Colts. So Josh, what's your story? Because I know you're also somewhat of a Detroit Lions fan in a way.
Yeah, that's because the Colts games aren't on where I'm at, and it's always watching the Lions get beat every single day on a Sunday. That's almost as guaranteed as the sun rising.
Yep.
But the story of how I became a Colts fan is one of rivalry and just wanting to stand out. So one day, this is back when I was like in 5th grade, I believe it was, and my brother and I decided to get a few jerseys. So we're part of a family where it's either the Browns, Steelers, or the Bengals, because I live in Ohio. And so I wanted to stand out, and so did my brother. So one day we went to a Kohl's, and they had a Peyton Manning jersey up there for sale. And I'm like, hey, I like blue. I could really rock this. So I got the Peyton Manning jersey. My brother asked my dad, he goes, so who's that one right there? He's looking at Tom Brady's jersey. And he goes, oh, he's the rival to Peyton Manning. And he goes, I want that one. So throughout the years, my brother's a Patriots fan and I'm a Colts fan because of the fact that I got a Peyton Manning jersey and he got a Tom Brady jersey. That being said, that one, as it grew, it went into us winning the Super Bowl 41. And that's when it really just solidified into just me being a Colts fan and nothing else. Because here's the rundown of what my family is like. My dad is a Browns fan. My oldest cousin is a Bengals fan. The one after him is the Steelers, Packers, then the Colts for me, followed by the Patriots, Browns, Giants. So
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Because it's funny because the way we have it set up, it's like everybody's their own nation when it comes to like a football team. So it really makes fantasy football a lot more interesting when you have more than just one fan base to like go up against. But yeah, so after that, pretty much I don't even like to talk about Super Bowl 44.
Yeah, well, let's not. It triggers me. It triggers me still to this
Every
day.
time that's on, I just mute it or I turn off the TV.
Yeah, because I know Toby's going to talk to us about it.
Yeah, I got my eye on the chat.
Don't worry.
Anyway, then 2011 happened. And I'm like, okay, Andrew Luck, we can keep Peyton Manning sitting behind. And then all of a sudden, Bill Pullian, let go. Peyton Manning, free agent. I'm like, you could have the Packers thing where they brought in, Aaron Rodgers to sit behind Brett Favre if you really thought about it. And I was frustrated. And that being said, as we get up to here where Andrew Luck retired and all that, that's when it really came to like go, I am happy to be a Colts fan because they actually fit your personality when you really think about it. Because the Colts don't get a lot of attention. And so what do? They play their hearts out to make sure they get that attention. And I'm not going to bring up the fact that we only have one primetime game, and it's a Thursday night against the Titans.
Yeah, I know. Thursday night game.
Oh, my Lord.
Don't worry. We'll get into that a little bit more, Josh, I promise. But, you mentioned games. Jake, what is the first Colts game you remember going to?
Well, the first one I ever went to was the one that I was talking about, the Kansas City and the Colts at Arrowhead Stadium. So, but the second game I ever went to though was actually the Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night in the RCA Dome, where the first play of the game was a 60-yard touchdown to Marvin Harrison. So,
gotcha. I know Josh's first game. You and I, it's called You and I went to it last year. And
thinking the Dolphins were going to lose. And
then we thought we were. Even with Brian Hoyer, it should have been enough, but it wasn't. We got destroyed. But yeah.
Dude, remember how loud and upset that stadium was at the team that day?
Yeah, there was not a happy face anywhere. Not a happy face anywhere, as to be expected. So I'm not happy with it either, but let's get into a couple of these comments here. I think the Titans are going to go 9-7 again, and this time miss the playoffs. Yeah, because Elliot, we all know that you love hating the Titans. We know. Jennifer Crabtree's in here. What's up, Jennifer? Glad to have you in here. The 9-7 Titans. Who do you guys think will finish? This is Toby's. Who do you guys think will finish as the Colts running back number 1 in fantasy this season, Mack or Taylor? I'll let Josh go first with this one. Josh, what are you thinking?
I think it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. And I think and I'm going off of just like, line of sight with seeing his pictures. Dude, he's built like a tank and then some. I mean, do you see the pictures of this man? He is meant to run over people.
Yeah, he is.
I think that's why I believe Jonathan Taylor is going to be the number 1 fantasy back this year because, I mean, I like Marlon Mack, but let's not get over the fact that he has some mileage, and it's nothing to be ashamed about, but I think
mileage, bro. He was in the 2017 draft. He's still young. He's still on his first contract.
Some would say Taylor has more mileage at this point.
Some would say that, yeah, but I mean that's not necessarily true. But I mean, yeah, you can make that argument because Taylor definitely ran a lot more in college than what Mack was. But Jake, what do you think here? Is it Taylor or Mack?
Man, it's really hard to say. I've really, really liked what Marlon Mack has done in the past couple seasons. I mean, it's been great, but it's hard to turn your head to a generational talent of somebody who could easily be compared to someone like Saquon Barkley. in Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor will end up being the number one fantasy back. And, this 1-1 punch that we keep hearing about, I think it sounds great to the media. It sounds great, for us Colts fans who love Marlon Mack. But by the end of the season, we're going to know who the number one running back is going to be, and that's going to be Jonathan Taylor.
Well, yeah, I mean, because Frank Reich mentioned it earlier today that Marlon Mack will be the starter. He is going to be the starter for the season starting out. But they said, they're also not afraid to ride the hot hand. If Jonathan Taylor is the guy that is going to be – if Jonathan Taylor is killing it, they're going to keep him in. If he's having issues and Marlon Mack's the one that's going to keep doing it, then they're going to keep running it with Marlon Mack because Marlon Mack knows how to run in this system. So, I mean, here's the thing. It all comes down to kind of how touchdowns go, right? I feel like that's going to be the thing because I feel like yardage-wise, these two can be relatively close, but I feel like touchdowns is going to decide it. And who do you want in the red zone running the damn ball? And I think that's probably going to be Jonathan Taylor just because of his size and strength to be able to run through guys. So,
all right, I got one for you guys before we go on.
Okay.
Do you think the Colts drafting Jonathan Taylor was an answer for Derrick Henry? Do you think that's why we drafted Jonathan Taylor? Because we were originally fine with Wilkins and Hines with Mack. But do you think we got Taylor because we needed an answer for Derrick Henry, do you think?
I don't think so. I think the Colts have always – I mean, the Colts, when Chris Ballard got here and when Frank Reich got here, they always wanted to run the football, right? That's been the concept ever since Frank Reich got in here, and that's what Chris Ballard's motto has been. Chris Ballard has been building in the trenches, right? Mm-hmm. Make that offense so good that you can pass and run with great efficiency. And Frank Reich has said, I want to be a top 5 rushing attack, right? Well, we were 7th last year. We missed our goal. And we went and got Jonathan Taylor because, like Jake said, a generational type running back, a guy that a lot of people are comparing to guys like Ezekiel Elliott and other names like that can just make plays in a blink of an eye, and somebody that can really just go out there and make big plays for you. That's what it was all about. Because they had Marlon Mack, and they like what they have in Marlon Mack. But they felt they could get even better in the rushing attack by adding another generational type running back, take some of the pressure off of Marlon Mack. And they also added Roosevelt Nix for that exact reason. So I don't think it was necessarily because of Derrick Henry. I think it was just because they kind of wanted to be like what the Titans were, let that run game lean on them, and they feel they're in a better situation where if they can lean on the run game, if that doesn't work, then they have what's necessary to pass.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, I get where you're coming from, whenever you have another big-time running back in the division, you would think that, with Colts being so vocal about wanting to be such a running team, and then we have this other team in our same division who's, going crazy with this, running back, which Derrick Henry is unlike, probably any running back I've ever seen in my time for sure. So I get where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, I don't think that it was an answer for him. I think DeForest Buckner was an answer for him.
Yeah.
But, and I think keeping someone like Anthony Walker on the roster, even past this year would be an answer for Derrick Henry. But I wouldn't say that, picking up Jonathan Taylor was what you would call an answer for him.
Right. Reese KFN in here, my dude. Rip to Howard Mudd. Thank you, Reese. Glad you're in here, man. Josh, why? I know that's you. I know that's your account. Don't do that. And then Toby fires at you. A bad webcam makes up for a lot. Oh my gosh, you're so funny. Eagle season's in here. What's up, dude? Good to have you in here, man. Glad you're always in here. Tristan Tillman. Hey, Derek. Tristan, good to have you in here, man. Glad that you're in here. 50 likes today. Hit that like button. If you guys have not already hit the like button, please do so. We're here with another subscriber live edition. Guys, come on. This is going to be fun. Let's go. And I want to know what's up with us having to play the flipping Steelers at Pittsburgh for like the last million years. Yeah, we never we never do well against Pittsburgh, even in our own building. So that's why I probably would say we lose it, to be honest, because we just never seem to have an answer for them. Never do. Mike Tomlin always has our number. Always. Anthony Woodard is in here. My boy Jake losing to the Titans twice this year. Okay, now. All right.
So let me tell you. Anthony Woodard's one of my best friends. He knew I was coming on the live stream today. He is him and his brother are diehard Titan fans. Unfortunately.
Oh boy. It's okay. I know a few of them. I associate myself with a couple of them that they're fun. They're just, they can be irrational at times. That's what makes them fun, though. Their irrationality sometimes makes them fun. Do you think Phillip Rivers makes the Pro Bowl this year? No. The Colts are going to rely on this running attack too much, and Rivers is not going to put up the numbers of some of these other quarterbacks. No way. You guys think so? Think at all? I'm seeing no's from Jay.
Yeah, no.
Marlon Mack becomes a wide receiver. I don't know about that. I've never seen Marlon Mack catch out of the backfield too much. Tristan's already doing my work here. Every minute I check the like count, I see someone's disliked it. Somebody better stop. Yeah, Elliot's like, not this again. These two were just going at it with people in my chat yesterday about dislikes on the stream. And again, this is just all it is. These guys just keep going at it like this. Stop it. All right, let's get a couple more here. William Carter. Hey guys, William, good to see you in here, man. This is the guy that won the contest for us yesterday. So William, thanks for being in here again, man. Congratulations again. So FaZe Waterhose now doing it. Whoever disliked the stream, consequences will happen. Oh my gosh. Guys, stop filling our chat with this, please. I know you guys. Oh, he's already saying one is gone. Okay. Now the other. Hello, Sam Lane is in here. Good to have you in here, man. Good to have you in here. So, guys, I wanted to ask you guys, if you guys are willing to talk about it, how you guys became aware of Bring the Juice. Because I know how my friend Josh knows, because I obviously told you sub to us and just kind of do the content. Be honest, Josh, do you actually listen to us at all?
Yeah, I do every now and again when I'm playing like Madden or Call of Duty.
Gotcha. Jake, how did you what?
I like to have something with me, you know?
Oh, yeah, I gotcha. Gotcha.
It's like in the background.
Jake, how did you figure out about us?
Yeah, man. So I'm a big podcast listener. I like listening to them when I'm at work or driving in the car or whatever. And I was listening to Around the NFL, which is like a, pretty big podcast about the NFL. And I found myself really, only really being interested in the Indianapolis Colts part, where I would kind of, try to skip through the podcast, just find the Colts part. So, that made me think like there has to be somebody out there has to be doing a Colts type podcast. And I found a couple of them. We won't talk about the other one, but this one's been great. This is the one I've been holding on to. So yeah.
Appreciate that, man. Really do. Really appreciate it. All right, guys. So let's talk about a sad moment here. And Josh kind of brought it up earlier, but we have to talk about Andrew Luck. We have to. I feel like it's just a thing that we have to kind of mention ourselves, even though I hate doing it personally, because anyone that saw my Twitter feed at that point, even though I wasn't relatively popular at that point, I felt absolutely mortified when that news broke out. I actually think I went into a depressive state for about 10 hours. I was really, really, really bad. I posted a couple videos on Twitter of me being in bed and crying my eyes out over this news. I was really sad because, I was like, there goes our chance of winning a Super Bowl thanks to Ryan Grigson and Chuck Pagano. Forever will those two be solidified on this Colts organization, as mainly it was Ryan Grigson. Mainly it was Ryan Grigson for not being able to help put this team together and ruining one of the best quarterbacks in the league's primes. So I was really upset about it. Josh, I know you texted me right when that news came out. What were you doing necessarily?
Well, all right. So I got the message because we're in a fantasy football group chat. My family is. So I didn't even get to see it like pop up. I only got it from my cousin. And I'm like, all right, this has got to be a troll. You know, this can't be happening. And then I look, and then sure enough, Andrew Luck is set to retire. And I'd say all right, just get back to your point about like Grigson first. I think I blame Grigson more than Chuck Pagano in a way because Pagano was only coaching what he had, while Grigson filled him up with offensive talent that is not an offensive line. And that's what we all know was the cause of him retiring this early. Now, to get back to what I was doing, I was just busy, like cleaning up around here, getting ready to just like watch some TV, go to bed. And then all of a sudden I get the message of, Andrew Luck's retiring. And it's like the whole world just stopped moving.
Yeah.
At least to me. Like the whole world stopped moving. And I'm like, this is real. How is this real? I mean, it's like this shouldn't be happening for another like 10, 15 years. But when you really think about it, I mean, granted, I was like sad for like the next 24 or 48 hours because, we lost Andrew Luck. But you also have to know that he was hurting. He wasn't all there, I guess. And I'm pretty sure like that calf strain or injury was just the last bit of hay that broke the camel's back. So now that you really like look back on it, it was probably for the best because he said that he just lost all joy with playing the game. And once that goes, then it's just another job. You don't get to see the results on the field that you want. And not to mention, he also had his like his daughter coming, pretty soon at that time. So we all understood that, you want to be around to see her grow up and stuff.
Yeah.
So I knew that once he retired this season, it was just going to be, a loss because the morale was gone. The leader was gone. And that's the one thing that always upsetted me with the Colts, especially back when Peyton Manning, was released, is that once our quarterback's gone, our whole team doesn't know what to do. And that always irked me because I get that having a quarterback is big for morale and just, sticking together and all that. But somebody has to next man up. And don't get me wrong, Brissett did that for fantastic. Now, if he only played when we were there against the Miami Dolphins, then, I'd still, have much more, how would you say, happiness to the outcome of that game. But I'm going to wrap it up here really quick. Just saying that, look, as much as I really wanted to see Andrew Luck play, I did not want him to, essentially kill himself on the field just for our, our entertainment because he has his own life he wants to live, and it looks like he's happy now. So that's all that really matters. And I hope that anyone still holding disdain for him retiring just knows that it was for the best.
Best for him. Yeah, absolutely. Jake, what were you doing when you heard that news?
Yeah, so I was actually watching the preseason game because they were actually playing in a preseason game. I can't remember exactly who they were playing.
They were playing the Bears. I remember because I was in the shower when I heard that news and I was getting out, and then I got multiple texts from him.
Right. So I'm at my parents' house. We're watching the preseason game, watching Chad Kelly do his thing. And I got a phone call, and the phone call was actually from Anthony Woodard, the guy that commented earlier, the Titans fan. And he said, "Hey, Adam Schefter just tweeted that Andrew Luck retired." And I said, "No, there's no way." So we hang up, whatever. I'm on Twitter. I see it. I'm like, "There's no way." And then, the crowd actually starts booing. You can hear it on the television. And you're like, "Oh my, God, geez, this is really happening." To say that, it's such a touchy subject, right? Because as for me as a Colts fan, I was heartbroken. And, at that moment in time, I was sitting there going, oh, you don't retire at 29, you quit at 29, and all this stuff. And, and after having some time to be able to settle down and really see kind of the stuff he was going through and the next things that he had coming in his life, it sits a little bit better. But at that moment in time, it was definitely a stab to the heart. It was, me and my brother, we live in an apartment, and we had a Colts poster that had Andrew Luck's face on it. It had TY on it, had a couple people on it. And we actually came home and cut Andrew Luck out of the poster and burned it on the stove. So, yeah, so it was rough. He was such a, when he was healthy, man, he was the next great Hall of Fame quarterback. But thanks to Grigson, I'll give it to you. Thanks to Grigson, man.
Yeah, tell me about it. FaZe Waterhose in here asking Elliot Crabtree and Tristan if they have a Discord so they can make a gang in here to attack anyone that dislikes our stream. Purity Empire's in here. Purity is here. What's up, dude? Good to have you in here, man. Let's see if I can get any more comments out of this other than the fact that everyone keeps talking about this stupid Discord because that's literally everything that's going on right now. All right, come on. All right, guys, stop with the stop with this. That's literally all my.
Derek moved a little too hard again. He's into it though. You guys stay clean in the chat. He is upset.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it
right now. What you're not hearing is the fact that Derek is swearing. Every word that's coming out of his mouth right now is just
right. Word. It's just the F word over and over again.
He's mad at you, chat.
Yeah, man, I love you. Tristan, Elliot, stop, man. Just plain, folks. How do we get a message on the screen? Just like this, man. Tell me about something. Ask me some questions, please. Let's get some questions rolling in here. I want to ask these guys some questions from you guys. What are your predictions for Zach Pascal this season? I think he's going to solidify himself this year as the true number 3 guy on this roster because, T.Y. Hilton sooner or later is going to be out the door, and Michael Pittman coming in, he's not bona fide yet. He's not really played it down yet, so I don't know what to expect of him, but Zach Pascal is one of the only consistent ones left. We had our interview with Zach Pascal, and he says he wants to go to the Pro Bowl. Really hoping he does, because I think he certainly can put up the numbers to do it. Jake, what are your predictions for Zach Pascal this year? Any kind of decent numbers or anything?
I've always, last year with all the injuries to the wide receiver group, Zach Pascal really, really surprised me. And I follow this guy on Instagram. He is putting in the work this offseason. I mean, this guy looks like an animal, So, you say solidify himself as the third receiver in the room. I could very well see him solidifying himself as the second. I mean, he with the blocking, he's such a good blocking wide receiver, which is so hard to find. And we don't know if, someone like Pittman is going to be able to bring that blocking, especially with how much, Coach Reich wants to run the ball. Ballard wants to run the ball, Would we put Zach Pascal over a Pittman just for the blocking, blocking of, part of the game? So,
yeah, Zach Pascal does that very well. So Josh, any predictions for Zach for this upcoming season?
I definitely see him finally breaking out of like that slot receiver role. I think he could be a great number 2 to T.Y. Hilton because he stepped up last season. And I was happy to see that because we needed a wide receiver because T.Y. Hilton got hurt and there went most of our receiving core. But I do think that he's going to put in the work, and I really hope he's going to make it to the Pro Bowl this year. And I think that our wide receiving core is set because Paris Campbell, once he gets going, he gets going. So I'm going to be happy to see all the Colts wide receivers go, but especially Zach Pascal because he has the most potential because I think he finally reached that point of unlocking his true potential. So I think that he is going to be able to outperform what he did last season and shine.
Yeah, I certainly hope so as well. I think he's definitely a great player. You're right. He's putting in all the work. Was the one reliable option that the Colts had last season throughout the whole season. It's incredible his journey when you guys think about it. In 2017, an undrafted free agent came into the season and didn't really play much at all. He only really got to see the field one game, and it was for a few snaps. And that he went to Washington, was waived before the season even started, and then went to Tennessee for the season, didn't get to play at all, and then got waived again at the end of the season. He finds his way to the Colts. Sure enough, he starts making a name for himself. He starts going out there. He starts putting up numbers. Zach Pascal is definitely somebody that I really think can solidify himself as that number 2 for at least right now. But let's get into a few more comments here if we can, and then we'll get into some more offseason talk. Realistically, other than Jonathan Taylor, which rookie are y'all looking forward to? I want to see Julian Blackmon. That's the one I really, really want to see. I want to see this guy out on the field in action because, I mean, I talked to Frank Reich about it when we were doing our virtual press conferences with him. I asked him how Julian Blackmon stands out on his tape, and he said, I mean, everything this guy does, I mean, you just have to turn the tape on. He's a phenomenal athlete that just goes and plays hard every second. And that's what I like about this kid. And I think that's what the Colts really want out of their guys in that way. So any rookies that, Josh, are you any other rookies that you're wanting to see this season or looking forward to in future?
Without a doubt, is Michael Pittman Jr. That man is a stud when you watch his USC film. Dude, he has hands for days. And guess what, Colts Nation? We actually have a wide receiver that is above 6'1". We're 6'4" with Michael Pittman, and he has a YouTube channel. So go subscribe to him.
Fitty Rap was telling me to check his out at some point. I'm gonna have to go check that out at some point because I hear he's funny. Jake, any rookies that stand out that you want to look forward to seeing?
Yeah, I think you guys nailed it with both of them. Julian Blackmon being, I have seen the people say that he has comparisons to, like a Bob Sanders type safety. And then Michael Pittman, with senior year at USC, 100 catches, over 1,000 yards. I think he only dropped 4 balls while I was there or something like that.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah. The ceiling for these guys are very, very high. And I'm excited to see what both of them are going to do. I know Julian Blackmon's going to have a little bit more of a road, since he is still injured, right? So
yeah, he's almost done. I asked Frank Reich how close he was to 100%, and he said he's actually ahead of schedule. They said he could be reactivated and ready to go by the start of the season. Now, whether or not he'll play right away, he probably won't. Probably going to give him like that extra half a month to kind of get to rhythm and kind of get used to practicing and everything. But they said his rehab's doing really well. And they actually said that they actually believe if worst came to worst, first game of the season, they think he's going to be ready to go and he would be able to go in there and step in if it were to be that bad. So, I mean, that's great news to hear.
Great.
Elliot Crabtree. Now, who do you think will win the Raiders starting job, Derek Carr or Marcus Mariota? Derek Carr, absolutely. Marcus Mariota ain't stealing nobody's job. Ryan Tannehill came and stole his job, okay? If Ryan Tannehill can come and steal your job and your girl, Derek Carr ain't losing his job and his girl and anybody else for freaking Marcus Mariota. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, Derek Carr's got it.
Well, that depends. Are you a Raiders fan or are you an everything else fan? Because if you want the Raiders to lose, you want Mariota to get the starting job.
Yeah, absolutely. I still just don't understand why people like Marcus Mariota so much. Like, I get he was consistent. I get he wasn't He wasn't terrible,
Consistent at
but
losing.
he was just average. He was just a game. He was just a game manager. That was it. He's Alex Smith, but worse. I mean, that's not even a knock on Alex Smith. Alex Smith was a game manager, but Alex Smith did really good at his job. Marcus Mariota did not. That's why Marcus Mariota got traded. Okay, so I'll never forgive Grigson for screwing up our team, and I wanted to punch Irsay in the nose for letting him stay so long. Yeah, I think a lot of people have disdain for Irsay in that regard. Irsay definitely let him stay back for too long. So, but it's okay. He's gone now. We're making up for loose ends. I predict Pascal leads the team in yards. Okay. If T.Y. Hilton doesn't get, then Zach Pascal definitely could. I don't think Michael Pittman will lead the league or the team in yards because I think Pittman's going to be more of that red zone guy. Even though I think Pittman can do everything, their specialty is going to want to get Michael Pittman in the red zone because of his height, because of his jump ball ability. I think Zach Pascal can be that. I honestly do think that. He averaged 12.5 yards per catch last season. So, I mean, if he gets around 60 catches, it's quite possible he could.
I mean, it's all going to come down to the chemistry with Phillip Rivers, right? I mean, you're talking about not much of a training camp, no preseason, for Phillip Rivers and, to really develop that chemistry with Pascal and Pittman and even T.Y., it's going to be difficult. So I think we're going to see a lot of that run game, especially in those first couple games.
Absolutely. I think the Colts are going to get Tyler Vaughns in the 3rd or 4th round to be in the same position as Chester Rogers. Interesting concept there. Chester. Where did Chester just get signed to? Chester just got signed by somebody. I can't remember who it was. It's either Miami or it was. I thought it was Miami that signed him. I think. But good. Anyway. Congrats to Chester Rogers for being able to be on another roster. What's the game you're most excited for? That's a good question, Toby. That's a good one. I'll let my guests answer first. Jake, game that you're most excited for?
I'm excited for the Baltimore game. I think, we have a fast, young, speedy defense. I think it's a defense that'll be able to give Lamar Jackson and what they have going on over there, wreak a lot of havoc. I mean, I just saw today that what's the guy on ESPN? He said that the Baltimore was going to go 16-0. Did you guys see that?
I think so.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd saying that the Baltimore was going to go 16-0. I think the Colts have the recipe to really shut Lamar down, and so that'll be a big game for us. And I think if we can win that game, we might be able to put ourselves in a position to get a couple more primetime games next year.
All right. Yeah. Josh, what's the game for you?
I think for me, it's got to be the Browns. I think that one's going to be a heck of a matchup because both these teams are incredibly young when you really think about it. So I think that one's going to end up looking more like a college football game than an NFL, more yards, slightly more touchdowns, but it's going to be close because the defenses are pretty stacked and so are the offenses because on one end you got Myles Garrett, but on the other defense you have DeForest Buckner. So it's going to be a battle of attrition and excitement. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most this year.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Yep.
Trying to address this comment section.
I know I've been watching it out of the corner of my eye.
All right. There we go. Now I got it figured out. Okay. Let's move on from that. Let's try and actually have a real conversation here. Tired of seeing all those. Okay. Most excited for this season. I'm probably gonna say the Packers game. I want to see what the Indianapolis Colts do against the Packers. They'll be at home. It'll be a good game. A lot of people talking about it. So I'm excited for that one. I think the Colts can definitely have a good one here. Let me go down here. Why is Jaguars fan in a Colts stream? They're rivals. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, it's funny to see that, but again, it's all good conversation. It's allowed for people to go into different people's comments and have discussion. That's what we're here for. That's what the Colts, us Colts podcasters want to do. That's what every team wants to do. Even if you're not a fan of their team, they still want to have some conversation. Maybe somebody brings up a good point that you actually want to discuss. And, there's something that we can figure things out. So I want to see Isaiah Rodgers because he is a 90 speed in Madden and ran a 4.28. Yeah. With Marvell Tell being gone and Roland Milligan being gone, that opens the door greatly for Isaiah Rodgers to come in and do something on this roster, especially because we know what he can do in kick returns. For me personally, I think this guy is making the roster, and I think he's doing it because of that speed. What do you guys think? You think that he can make this roster?
Oh yeah, especially now. I mean, once we saw Marvell Tell make the decision to not play this season, that opened the door completely. I had I had Rodgers making the 53-man roster, but even more so now, I think he's going to play a much more of a major role.
Absolutely. Just plain, folks, I'm about to, dude. We need to stop. We need to stop with this spam. Tristan, I know you're usually my unofficial mod in here, but dude, let's stop. Let's just stop this. This isn't fun. Okay, it's not productive. It's funny, but let's just stop with that. Okay, if somebody does want to be a mod, you make sure you message me directly at Derek_Larger on Twitter or DL64Football on Instagram. Okay, you message me if you want to be a mod. I'll make you a mod. But we need to stop with the the spam in here. Seriously. And Tristan, yes, you can be a mod. Just message me directly about it. What do you think the Colts record is going to be this year if everyone stays healthy? I've been saying 10-6. I think that's relatively a decent spot. It will get us in the playoffs. I don't know what you guys think. Jake, what's yours?
Yeah, I've been bouncing back and forth with 10-6 and 11-5. I got the Colts schedule as like the background screen on my phone, so I get to look at it a lot. And I think that either way though, 10 or 6 or 11-5 will be enough to get us the AFC South this year, and we'll get to the playoffs.
Josh, what's the record that you're thinking?
15-1 if everyone stays healthy.
Oh my God!
I'm ride or die on that one.
You're gonna be that guy in here today, huh?
15-1.
All right, excited to see the potential of Isaiah Rodgers. Yeah, me too. I mean, if we saw Naheem Hines what he did last year, I mean, holy hell, dude. That's
Welcome to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. That better be a t-shirt.
Yeah, just plain, folks. I'm about to after this point. This is ridiculous. Sam Lane, Rip Howard Mudd. Yeah, Mudd died. Yeah, he did this morning. Died from a motorcycle accident that put him in the hospital 2 weeks ago, and he's been in ICU ever since. And he didn't get better. He got worse, and he had multiple spine injuries, multiple head injuries. And at someone his age, that kind of stuff just doesn't get better. So unfortunately, it's just how it is. So, yeah, we have him in our prayers for sure. Alex Smith isn't even that bad. Yeah, he's really not. It's sad what happened to him 2 seasons ago.
He just gets replaced by a younger, more athletic.
Well, remember, he can return to the NFL this season. His doctors have cleared him. They said he's good. He's ready to return if the team's ready to have him back. So that's a good question of do the Redskins, or I can't even call them the Redskins anymore. Does Washington give him another chance? That's a relatively decent question. Jake, do you think they give him a chance again, or?
I think if they were smart, they would. I think that that might be the Washington football team's only chance of having a really successful season. I think Dwayne Haskins has the potential of doing it. Of course, great at Ohio State there for you, Derek. But I think if he had the, opportunity to sit behind maybe an Alex Smith for a year and really learn behind him, I think he would really benefit from that.
Yep, absolutely. Let's keep going here. Says I have my Pittman jersey and ready for some football. Fitty Rap saying, or saying his weird guitar collection let Grigson kill our damn QB. I wouldn't necessarily blame the guitar collection, but I mean, let's see here. My old man is a diehard Colts fan. That's good. That's good to hear. Let me see here. If we had $1 billion, I bet all of us would buy weirder things than guitars. I'd buy a really nice car and a really nice house. All right, let's do this then. $1 billion. Let's see what every one of you would do. $1 billion. I would buy a really, really nice car. Maybe 2 of them just because I want to show off. I want to get a Corvette and I want to get and something else. Maybe probably a GTR or something, a Nissan GTR. Those aren't cheap, but they are decent. Get a nice house for myself. Be able to pay off my parents' debts. Absolutely. Giving them enough money to the point where they don't have to work another day of their lives. Giving them a couple million. My brother especially too. To some of my friends too, definitely. I would want to do that. And
great subscribers.
Yep, and loyal subscribers. I'd be giving it back. Absolutely. Every week, I probably do $100 cash prize every week. On God, probably would. I probably would. I don't think I'd have an issue with that. And then save the rest of it. That's pretty much it. Jake, what are you thinking? What's $1 billion going to do for you?
I mean, of course, right? You'd have to take care of your family. Make sure your parents aren't working, help the brothers and sisters out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Probably try to find a nice house next to a bunch of Colts players so I can, when I'm mowing the lawn, shoot them a little wave. It'd be nice.
Jack Adams actually says he has like 2 family members that actually live right next to Chris Ballard and Phillip Rivers.
Oh, really?
Which is really funny.
Yeah. Phillip Rivers looks like a guy that mows his own lawn.
Yeah, he really does. He does. He does look like one of those middle-aged dads, right?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, probably buy a nice truck and stuff. Never work again. Make sure I can go to probably every Colts game and
that would be another thing for sure.
Invest it for the generations after me.
Yeah, definitely. Josh, what are you doing with $1 billion? Just off the top of your head.
Well, that would mean I'm a great entrepreneur. That means I can put a swimming pool in a swimming pool.
Oh my God!
I do
not get one of those real infinity gauntlets. We already know you have one. We don't need a real.
I have one. But I'd also get myself a nice house. Swimming pool and a swimming pool kind of thing. Probably another new car. Probably nothing like too special, but like a Land Rover just to like get around. For travel. Nice house, pay off all debt that I have, and then just watch the world go by.
I feel that. Taylor's back in here. That's one of the other subscribers that I had on last week. Taylor, thank you for being in here. Hey, guys, besides the Super Bowl, what's the most memorable games of the Colts that you remember? It has to be. Okay, all right, Josh, go ahead.
The Chiefs playoff game back in 2013.
Yep, I was going to say that too. Yep, that's one of the most memorable things ever. I remember watching the beginning of that game, okay? I remember watching the beginning of that game. And my then girlfriend at the time was over, and we were watching the game. And I decided I wanted to go to the women's basketball game at high school because I was still in high school at that time. And we went there, and it's midway through the game, and I'm thinking the game's about to be over at some point soon. My dad texts me and says, the Colts won. Because I was pissed at that point. I left. I was like, they're going to lose. Then he's like, no, I was like, no, you're joking. That's not possible. We were down 30 points. And he says, check ESPN. I checked it. Sure enough, we won. I was refreshing it 1,000,000 times just to make sure I wasn't getting pranked. But we did. And then literally that night, I was I had the game on DVR because my dad put it on DVR, and I was watching it all night long. I watched it 2 or 3 times from the point I left. I was like, unbelievable that this happened, and I missed it. I was so mad. But Jake, what's a game that stands out for you, man?
Yeah, my favorite game of all time would have to be the 2006 AFC Championship game where Peyton Manning finally defeated Tom Brady to go to the Super Bowl and beat the Bears. The interception at the end of the game. I mean, coming back from I think it was a 21-3 deficit at some point, 28-3 deficit at some point. It was good, man. It was good. Still gives me chills. I'll go back. They'll play it on the NFL Network from time to time where you can watch some of these older games. And it's definitely a memory. I remember we lived in Indiana at the time, and all of us just sitting in the living room glued to the television. And when, we scored to go up and we finally got up on them, on the Patriots, my dad, I can remember my dad saying, we left too much time for Brady. We left too much time on the clock for Brady, which, hey, as a lot of teams have in the past.
Yeah.
And for us to get the interception, Marlon Jackson, it was, still gives me chills.
Oh, I bet Cody talks about that all the freaking time.
Oh, I don't know if you know this, but ESPN's, the NFL on YouTube has all the big games on it. So if you ever want to watch it again, YouTube has them. You just got to look it up.
I probably will.
I'll watch it.
Okay, so NFC North winner. NFC North winner. So that's the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, and then the Lions. I'd probably go Packers again. Even though I think that division's wide open, I think that the Packers can do it still because they still have Aaron Rodgers. That defense is still relatively decent, and that division's always ran through the Packers for the most part. So, and we're talking about division winner, not who we actually think could go further. It's just who we think's winning the division. I think it's Green Bay. What do you guys think?
I think that we're going to see a decline in Green Bay this year. I think the Jordan Love stuff's going to be in Aaron Rodgers' head a little bit, whether he wants to admit it or not. And we're going to see a little bit of a disconnect. They didn't get another great wide receiver. I understand they have Devontae Adams, which I'm really high on. I love Devontae Adams, but he's one guy. For me, I think that I think the Vikings will do it. We got a good defense, good coach, good running back.
All right, Josh, what are you thinking? NFC North winner.
It's going to be the Lions.
They're just going to get the hell out of here, Josh. Just get the heck out of here. Just give me real facts here.
I will say, though, Jake is right in saying that Jordan Love might be in his head, Aaron Rodgers' head, because Aaron Rodgers might think, like, I have to keep performing in order to keep my job or to show off to the Packers that I still have it. And I do, and I think that, but I still think the Packers have the better defense of the NFC North. So I still got to give it to the Packers, even though I think you're right in that Aaron Rodgers will have Jordan Love on his mind, and it might make his stats look way off compared to previous years.
All right. Yes, the Baltimore game will be good to see. I would love to see us still that again. Yeah, definitely, dude. I think it definitely would be a great one for sure. If we could steal that, that would be incredible. We love you, Jake. Do you think the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl again this year? If not, who? It's too early for me to think that anyone else will. The Chiefs are easily the front runner right now just because of Patrick Mahomes. That's pretty much it. Gardner Minshew versus Lamar Jackson. I want to see that game. The Ravens are destroying you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When do you think Tom Brady will retire?
I'll tell you when he'll retire. During the heat death of the universe when the Milky Way galaxy collides with the Andromeda galaxy. So that'll be about 5.8 billion years from now.
Tom Brady will be dust and bones, not even dust and bones, and will still be throwing footballs.
He's gonna be like that old woman from SpongeBob where he goes, football. I used to play football.
Oh my God.
I always hated it.
Chocolate. I remember when they first invented chocolate. All right. Just plain folks saying Haskins is a glorified Brissett. Okay. No. Haskins is in his first year, y'all, and he still threw the football down the field more times than Brissett. Brissett didn't throw the ball deep at all last year. And Haskins was doing that a lot this last year, okay? He didn't have the wide receiver core, didn't have an amazing offensive line. Give Haskins a little more time. He actually has a coach now that's actually willing to coach him. He didn't have a coach last year that actually wanted to coach him. He just threw him in there because he had to. They put Case Keenum in for the first 10 weeks of the season because they didn't like Dwayne Haskins. So, I mean, that's the thing. We can't say that. I understand Haskins never got a good situation, but honestly, I'm a little surprised he hasn't broken out yet like this. The dude who beat out Joe Burrow made him transfer. Again, guys, it's his first freaking year. It's his first year. The head coach of the team never wanted him. The head coach of the team never wanted him. He came out and said it. He didn't want Dwayne Haskins. So, I mean, again, give it a little bit of time. If I was a millionaire, I would buy cheese. Okay. And his explanation.
Not a bad purchase.
Because cheese is epic. About to get a lot of diarrhea though with that. So
because pepper jack and mozzarella are the way to go, man. You can't go wrong with them.
True. I like the mozzarella sticks for Buffalo Wild Wings. I might just say give me an unlimited supply of those. Those things are amazingly good.
They are good.
The 3 Jags trades: Nick Foles, great trade; AJ Bouye, good trade; Calais Campbell, bad trade. Yeah.
Campbell didn't want to be there though.
Yeah, which stinks,
No.
but it's like, they could have easily gotten something better than a 5th rounder out of him.
For sure.
They could have definitely.
Elliot, I have so much respect for you because you are ride and die with these Jags. But you have to admit, you have to go and say to yourself, Ngakoue wants to leave. Nobody wants to be in Jacksonville. Because everybody, I don't even know why. I mean, right now, the only thing Jacksonville has going for them is AEW professional wrestling, and they aren't even associated with the Jaguars.
Jake, your buddy Anthony with the greatest thing ever. Phillip Rivers wouldn't cut his own grass. He has a team of 9 to do that for him. That's right. But are you going to buy 9 lawnmowers though? I mean, that's the issue.
9 miniature lawnmowers for him.
9 miniature lawnmowers, or just one person does like 15 minutes and then the next person tags in.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has Brissett's same issue. He doesn't process the defense fast enough. He is more aggressive than Brissett, so he has more potential. Yes, because here's the thing, guys. Dwayne Haskins, he only played 1 season at Ohio State. Yeah. It would have been much better for his development if he had stayed. But of course he wasn't, because he was the best quarterback, in my opinion, in college that year. So of course you're going to go and be a first-round pick, make your money, and you can figure out the rest of it because we know he has talent. He's just got to learn to progress. And now that he's got coaching staff that's willing to say, this is our starter for now, we're going to see where he goes from here. Maybe now he gets better because, again, like I said, Coaching was not good for him last year. Jennifer says, if I had $1 billion, pay off all my student loans, I would do that too. For start, then pay off my house, give my kids and parents money, and then quit my job. So I have to hear the same whiny 30-year-old every day. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anthony Beverly is in here. Tampa Bay comeback. Do you guys think Tampa Bay actually has a shot? I mean, their offense is incredibly filled with a lot of talent, but that defense still is a big, big question mark.
Didn't we say that for the Browns this past year?
Yeah, and that's what we're still. But I mean, no,
yeah.
I mean, the defense for the Browns, though, was actually loaded with really good guys. They were just undisciplined to the absolute max, and they committed so many penalties. They had Myles Garrett. They had Denzel Ward. They had Joe Schobert. They had guys at every position that were one of the best in the league at what they did. They just were not disciplined. That was their issue.
Tampa's got, hey, any team that has Tom Brady on it has a chance. So
that is true. That is true. Elliot, to answer your question, where's Cody at? He's at work. So you guys just get me. All right. Reese KFN, favorite moment, Colts versus Patriots 2006 playoff game. Yeah, I think that's a lot of Colts fans for sure. Just be you. I'd buy the Steelers and immediately purposely tank and sell them to the owner of the worst reviewed bar in North Dakota for a case of Miller Lite.
That's one way to do it.
That's funny. Let's get a couple more things here, and then we can kind of talk about some other guys later. Plain folks, good to have you in here, man. Hope you'll come back for another one here soon. We'll make sure to keep going with this. Do you think Phillip Rivers will be one and done by Lisa? No, I don't think he'll be one and done. I think it's been talked about a lot by Phillip Rivers that said, I want to be here multiple years. He would have to be severely injured or suck so bad to the point where he gets benched. Other than that, I don't see a point where he says, I don't want to come back.
Yeah, first off, hi, Mom. And secondly, yeah, I mean, he would have to suck terribly for him not to come back. I mean, just his relationship with Sirianni and Reich and everything like that. They want him to succeed. They want him to be there for at least one more year after this year, I would say. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, guys. So let's kind of talk a little bit more, and we'll let some comments fill up here. So this offseason, it's been very, very exciting for a lot of reasons. Okay, and I guess we have to talk about the first move that Chris Ballard made, which wasn't the DeForest Buckner trade. Let's make that clear. It wasn't the first one. Anthony Costanzo being re-signed. That was the first move that the Colts made of the offseason, with Anthony Costanzo doing a 2-year re-sign. We kept our left tackle for at least another 2 years. He was obviously contemplating on retiring, but he said, after some rethinking, I decided I want to still play. So what do you guys think of keeping Costanzo? How big of a relief was that to know we kept our left tackle? Jake, you want to start with that one?
Yeah, you can never underestimate the power of having such an elite left tackle and somebody who's been so consistent and so, has not gotten the recognition he deserves. Anthony Costanzo has been a stronghold on our team for a very long time, and I'm glad that Ballard could get something done. With all of this COVID-19 stuff going on, he was the one that kind of scared me in my head when I thought, what Colts players would, do I feel like could opt out or would opt out? And since he was already thinking about retirement and all this stuff, and now here's this huge other obstacle. That was something that crossed my mind. So, and I know he said he's not, and the deadline's coming past now. So, yeah, I mean, you got to keep your left tackle. And, ultimately, if we would have worked a little bit better on our offensive line when Andrew Luck was there, we would still have him around. So,
yeah. And so now we can go to the next guy. And this is the one that Josh was talking about. I think I texted you, Josh, right after this happened too. DeForest Buckner, a top 5 defensive tackle in this league for sure, an all-pro in 2018, and we got him for a first-rounder. Basically, we traded our 13th pick for a 25-year-old defensive tackle who's already been an all-pro defensive tackle, a guy that has had the potential. Josh, what was your immediate reaction when you saw DeForest Buckner coming to the Colts?
All right, I'm sorry for Jake's mom, but I'm about to just swear really quick. I know you're probably watching.
Yeah, hey, so swear away. It's fine.
All right, so what went through my mind was, holy shit, we got somebody with a huge name, because every time I look, I go, well, at least we signed him, it's like somebody like small name, but then this one actually was like the first free agent I think we've signed in quite a while, whose name carried a lot more weight than what we usually get. And I was happy for that. And when you look at it, that trade made sense. The 49ers could not pay him the amount he wants to stay there because they're pretty much running up on 2 contracts. So you could see who we were eventually going to get, right? Who was the other guy that they re-signed for Buckner?
It was Armstead, Eric Armstead.
Because you could tell we were probably going to either get Armstead or Buckner, and I think we got Buckner. Because he was the best option, and I guess the Niners thought he was.
And it was defensive tackle too. I mean, it was the 3 tech that the Colts really wanted to address.
And I will say this, that was probably the best trade probably ever made in NFL history because it benefited both teams, because the Niners got to offload somebody so they can get Kinlaw in this case. But we also got an amazing player at the position we needed going into this draft. And I don't know what it is with Madden's ratings, but he should be higher than an 89, if I remember correctly.
It was an 87, I think. And all pro should be above an 87.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they hate it. Does EA hate the Colts? Because apparently
I think they do.
They do.
On the way there. But he's built for that position. He's got the arms, the height, and he's like mobile. That's all you need.
6'7", 300 pounds. That's a massive.
Like I told you, Derek, in Madden 20, every team I play as, I add DeForest Buckner immediately because he's just so awesome.
Yep.
So,
I mean, my reaction right away, I was like, is this real? There's no way, because I never seen Chris Ballard make this kind of move. Never. I've never seen Chris Ballard be so aggressive going after a player that was one of the best at his position, because I knew you're going to have to pay him. And like, that's just something Chris Ballard just doesn't do, but he did it. It was like amazing. I was so pumped. I was screaming and yelling in my apartment. My neighbors probably hated me, but anyway, the funny thing is, you mentioned the trade details, Josh. We were talking about trading the first rounder, right? It's funny because people at that time said that was really dumb of the Colts to give up your first rounder for a defensive tackle of all things. Well, I made a whole video about that. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's all the way back when that trade was made. I said how that was easily a really good trade and why anyone thinks otherwise is stupid. Bleacher Report even said that was the worst move the Colts made all offseason. Not paying a 37 or 38-year-old quarterback $25 million. That wasn't the worst move. It was trading our first rounder for DeForest Buckner, probably the 4th best defensive tackle at his position. Okay. And the funny thing is, we look at it now. Did we not just see what Jamal Adams just got traded for? Do you not see what he just got traded for? 2 first rounders, a 3rd rounder, and a player. 4 players, 4 potential players in exchange for 1 player when we gave up somebody at a position that we needed and is just as good at his position as Jamal Adams is at his, and we gave him up for 1 player. Doesn't that trade seem even better now? Because Chris Ballard is a genius. He screwed the 49ers. The 49ers are thinking, man, if Jamal Adams could have got traded for 4 guys, we probably could have gotten at least 1 out of the Colts. But nope. It's that. I don't know if you guys feel that way about that trade now. Jake, do you feel that way at all?
Yeah, for sure. I think that, like Josh had pointed out, though, too, is that the trade really helped San Francisco as well. The Jets and the Seahawks, with the trade with Jamal Adams. I think, now me personally, Jamal Adams is a beast. Would I have traded 2 first rounders for Jamal Adams? Definitely not. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But as far as, when I got the news about the Buckner signing for the first round, at first I was, of course, very excited. You're getting a player who's established, who's shown that, he is one of the better, one of the best defensive tackles in the league. But, one of the things that came to mind was, T.Y. Hilton's, getting up there in age, and this was before, I really had dove into knowing who Michael Pittman was. But I saw, Jerry Jeudy sitting up at the top. I saw, CeeDee Lamb sitting up there, Henry Ruggs. And I'm thinking, one of these guys is going to fall to that 13th pick. And then we'll have, a receiver potentially to kind of take over from T.Y., similar to, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, T.Y. Hilton. So I'm, hindsight 2020, I feel like, it was a great move after all. Ballard, is a genius. He ended up getting the Michael Pittman. He ended up getting that receiver, and he got Buckner. And, so I think it ended up well.
I got a comment here for you, Jake. I want Jake's opinion on who the dark horse team of the 2020 season is. Guessing just kind of one of those that just climbs out of the shadows, basically.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Denver, the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
I think Drew Lock is going to have a season. I think he's going to, be able to show who he, is as a quarterback. I don't think he really had that opportunity this year. I mean, he now has Jerry Jeudy on his team, which is, an elite receiver and somebody that he can build a repertoire with. Of course, you got Von Miller in that defense. And, similar to almost how Indy was last year, we lost a lot of games by a field goal. And, we didn't really get blown out. We got blown out what? The Saints was the game I couldn't even watch.
Yeah, that was the only game we ever got blown out last year.
And I feel like Denver was kind of in the same boat as that. Even look at whenever the Colts played Denver. If it wasn't for a miraculous Jacoby Brissett scramble to a TY hitting the side, dragging the toes on the sideline, and Adam Vinatieri actually making a field goal, they're beating us in that game. So, I feel like the Denver Broncos have a lot to put on the table this year, and I think we'll see it.
I think Denver's a good option. Another team I would say is probably the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
I like what they did in the draft. I like what they did in the offseason. They obviously got DeAndre Hopkins. Ginormous option there. Great wide receiver that they needed for that team. And also, you mentioned Denver. Look at their receiving options now. They got Cortland Sutton, who emerged last year as one of the better wide receivers in the league. Obviously, adding Jerry Jeudy, a young potential wide receiver, is really good. And they have Noah Fant as well, a tight end that had some big games last year. He stays healthy. And they got Melvin Gordon now, too.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
They got an offense. They got weapons now. They really do. I like what Arizona's done. They beefed up that offensive line, too. They added some great pieces. They got Josh Jones in the late second round as a freaking steal. That was a steal at the point that they got him. Amazing piece there. They added some more pieces. They obviously got rid of David Johnson. They feel they're comfortable with their running back group. They have receiving options now. That defense is still really good at getting to the quarterback. I feel Kyler Murray is going to take a step forward. He doesn't have to scramble as much now. I feel that team can definitely make some noise. They may not make the playoffs, but they can definitely make some noise. Josh, is there a dark horse team in the NFL that you think might surprise some people?
Let me see. This is kind of hard when you really think about it. Anyone can pretty much be a dark horse team in this stage because it's too early to tell. But if I had to go with any dark horse, I think I'm going to say it. I think the Bengals could be a dark horse. Just wondering how Joe Burrow, if he really is worth that number one spot. Now, keep in mind, dark horse means like you're going to make the playoffs by the skin of your teeth. They're not going to run the gauntlet and make it all.
Of course, where no one here is saying that the Bengals are going to run the table. Okay, nobody ever.
I know.
Nobody in their right mind.
I think the Bengals could do it if they play their cards right, but it all depends on how Joe Burrow does.
Right.
Hey, last note too, Derek. Isaiah Simmons on the Cardinals as well.
Oh yeah, that's another defensive piece. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
what a monster!
Amazing of a piece.
What a monster!
I was shocked that they went with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it really worked out for them though, because they were able to get Simmons and Josh Jones.
Oh man,
that was incredible. They fixed their offensive line. They got a good offensive line piece and got the best defensive player outside of Jeff Okudah and Chase Young. That was incredible what they did. Fitty Rap, yes, they had the best run defense in the NFL, but their pass coverage was one of the worst in the league last year. Again, you can stop the run all you want. It doesn't matter. If you can't stop the pass, you can't win. It's just hard to beat teams in today's game when you can't stop the pass. You can stop the run all you want. It doesn't matter. Most teams aren't devised to run the football 30, 40 times a game like the Colts and other teams are. That's not who they are. Haskins has the talent, more talent than Brissett, but the problem is that he's on Washington. Bad organization equals bad development. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just naming some other guys there that Devin Bush, or no, it's not. No, Devin Bush is with the Steelers. It's Devin White from LSU that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Devin White is there. He's good, but I mean, he's still got some pass coverage stuff he has to get over with. But did you guys also see? I don't know if you've seen it, but PFF put out the top 10 best coverage players in all of football last season. Do you see who made 10 on the list?
Was it Leonard?
It was Darius Leonard. Darius Leonard, I believe, was the only linebacker on that list.
Yeah.
Number 10, the 10th best player in the NFL at pass coverage, Darius Leonard, a linebacker.
What was it, 7 interceptions last year?
It was 5. It was 5.
Okay, 5.
7 in total. He had 5 last year.
Gotcha,
but even then, that's still amazing for a linebacker.
Oh,
5. Yeah, he had 2 against against Tampa Bay, which is funny.
He also sealed the deal against the Titans back in 2019, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and he sealed the deal with that interception against the Texans the first time we met him too. It was the first game he came back from his concussion that he suffered in the beginning of the year. He came back and he got the game-winning interception. So,
we have the wingspan of a minivan. You know, easy to.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys this. So do you think that he'll be known as the steal of the NFL draft? Like when he retires and in the Hall of Fame that
if he keeps doing what he's doing, steal? Yes.
That Bleacher Report article will be part of his Hall of Fame speech, I promise.
Yeah, he'll put it in his speech.
Yeah.
He will. He'll make it a graphic on the video board behind him. That will be it.
Didn't he save it to his phone? I think I saw an interview where he said he saved it to his phone.
Yeah.
They
actually gave him, his wife gave him cleats that him and the coaching staff put together a list of all the terrible things that have been snubbed from him. Worst pick in the draft, no Pro Bowl, or things of that nature, all that stuff. It was put on his cleats, so he's reminded every day, these are what people say about you. Prove them wrong. I love this guy. I love him because he is the epitome of what you want in a football player. The epitome of it. Seriously. You come from an FCS school in South Carolina State, barely anyone knew about you, to now being regarded as the best linebacker in football by a long shot. Seriously.
Well, remember, Jerry Rice was found out at Mississippi Valley State. Not a lot of people really thought high of him. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing nowadays. People tell you all the time that these big name programs, they have great players, but not everybody. A lot of players go to the Hall of Fame and came from schools that people barely knew about. Seriously, you see just as many players out on the field now that were from schools that you didn't even hear of before they mentioned their names, as they do from Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, all these others. I mean, it's really incredible. It honestly is. Okay, now we have Foles going in here somewhere. Oh yeah, because Sam was saying how Sam was saying how Gardner Minshew's not better than Foles. Yeah, I get that, but I mean, we're not talking about Foles here, and we're not talking about Minshew. Both of them stink. Okay, that's why they keep moving around teams, but Minshew's not that great. The Eagles made a mistake in trading Foles. No, they didn't.
Carson Wentz is a beast.
It was not. Wentz is easily better than Foles.
However, at the trajectory he's going,
Okay.
he might be Andrew Luck and end up retiring at 29 with all these injuries.
Sam, you are trolling me right now, bro. Stop that. Stop it. Wentz is 10 times better than Foles. Wentz would have went to the Super Bowl that year if that was actually the case, if he didn't get hurt. He was the reason his team went 13-3. He's the reason why. Foles came in and just took over the system. That's it. Let's see here. There's not many more of stuff when it comes to other things, but I'm trying to see. We got Jacob Eason things up in here. Deep accuracy is insane. That kind of is a good segue, guys. Let's kind of talk a little bit about Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason, a guy that we drafted in the 4th round, obviously. A lot of people were saying in the draft that he's going to be a 2nd round pick. It's a guy that has a lot of potential. You don't know what you're exactly going to get out of him in long term, but the Colts, one of the biggest steals in the draft right here, getting Jacob Eason in the 4th round. Quite incredible, honestly. I remember I was watching it with my brother over here. We were watching it where it was the last pick before he decided to leave for the weekend because he was staying with me to watch the draft. And we're like, how amazing would it be if we got Jacob Eason here? That's the first thing that we said. And we're like, it went to commercial right before the pick. And then it shows up, and then we're waiting for that pick to come up, and then we see Jacob Eason's name in the Colts blue. We were so happy. We're like, that's unbelievable. The quarterback that a lot of people said we could potentially go for in day 2, we end up getting on day 3. Jake, what was your reaction to the Colts getting Jacob Eason?
Yeah, I think it was a great pickup. Especially that type of, to draft that highly, rated player at the 4th round. There's a reason why he fell to the 4th. They have these scouts, these experts that are scouting these players out. There's a reason why a bunch of other teams passed on him. So I do like what Ballard, and Reich are doing with him and sitting him behind Jacoby and Phillip. I think that's best case scenario for him because I think he was definitely a player that you would see go to one of these other teams who are in need of a quarterback and get thrown out there first year and suck, and then you never hear about him again. So, I'm glad that he's, I'm glad that, I saw that Ballard really pumped the brakes whenever we first drafted him, when everybody thought that, he was going to be the next starter and, we were going to be doing this and doing that. And, he told him that he basically said, this guy's got some time to sit back here and show us that, he can do what he needs to do. So I think it was a win-win for the Colts, and I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm very sad that we didn't have a preseason this year because he was the one I wanted to see.
Yeah, I agree. Josh, what were you thinking when we got him?
So when we got him, I was busy finishing up a project for my sport marketing class. And I see my phone blow up saying, the Colts got Eason. And I'm like, what? I'm like, keep in mind, this is coming down to the wire for the class because it was due at 2 p.m. So I was working on it at 1:40 p.m. and I get this text saying, "Oh, we got Eason." So I started to look, and I'm like, "Oh my!" I watched the video on my phone, and we got Eason. And I look up, and it's 10 minutes before that assignment's due, and I'm like, "Oh crap!" And I literally threw my phone off to the side and finished the assignment. And then when I really got to looking at it, I'm like, "This one makes sense," because we got him in the 4th round. Because remember, we were originally supposed to be allegedly getting Jordan Love in the 2nd round before the Packers got all happy with possibly screwing over Aaron Rodgers. We don't know yet.
They screwed themselves. They needed a wide receiver, and they decided, oh, yeah, we're going to draft your replacement. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and keep in mind, though, it was fun watching all the Packers fans' reactions because they're all like.
Do you remember Pat McAfee's assistant who was a Packers fan?
Oh, that was
so bad.
I'm telling you this right now. If you haven't seen it, that's the most solidest damn you could ever hear in your
Yeah,
life.
that was
So
the mood of every Packers fan in the world at that moment in time. Yes, that was every single one of them felt that exact same way.
Oh yeah. I mean, but yeah, all in all, I like it. I like where this is going, and I hope that he actually gets the starting job once Rivers and Brissett move on.
Yeah. Keeping Jake was a great keeper. Buckner, I thought at first was a bad move, but looking at his film, this was a great move because he's a 3-tech. You know, at first I didn't recognize the name at first, but then I remembered it and I was like, holy cow. I mean, that was watch Drew Lock be a bust. I'll bet you $1. All right. Put the dollar in the super chat, Elliot. Be a man of your word. Put the dollar in the super chat. I swear to God, I'll pay you back. If Drew Lock's not a bust, I promise you, I'll give it back to you.
I'll also pay you back.
Yeah. Put $2 in there. Him and I will both give you $2 if he ends up being a bust. I swear to God on it. I promise you. I will. Just go ahead and put your money where your mouth is on that. Derek, what's up, guys? Al, James, good to have you in here, man. Good to have you in here. So, guys, we're about an hour and 35 minutes into this stream. Thank you to every single one of you that are in here right now watching. I want to check to see how many likes we have on the stream so far. We have 23 likes. Be sure, guys, to try and keep going. We appreciate every one of you being in here. Appreciate these guys being here and doing this with me. I think Kyler Murray is going to win the MVP. Well, if the Cardinals make the playoffs and get deep, then yeah, I mean, you could definitely make that argument, but they'd have to make the playoffs to do that. Because, you know, again, it's most valuable player. So
D-Hop in that air raid offense that Cliff Kingsbury runs to could be insane. Could Kyler Murray be a MVP candidate?
Yeah, I mean, because Hop likes to run deep. I know people seem to forget that, but he makes a lot of his catches from deep.
Yeah,
I mean, he really is. He's got amazing body control. Even when his body's not controlled, his hands just always seem to find the ball regardless.
Yeah,
honestly, it's magical to watch him receive. Honestly, Kinlaw can definitely be Buckner. He was the best defensive tackle in the draft, in my opinion. He was a monster in college and in the Senior Bowl. See, I mean, that's why the 49ers drafted him, because they think that's his replacement. That's who they think they can get out of him. I mean, he is 6'3", 305 pounds, and the dude runs. Like, he's got a motor, and he has something that other guys don't have on defensive lines, which is when the play is away from him, he doesn't stop. He makes the play even when it's thrown 20 yards away from him. He still makes plays. So, I mean, that's why I liked Kinlaw. I would have been okay with us drafting Kinlaw because I liked his effort. I liked who he was. But, I mean, to say he's going to be Buckner, that's high hopes right off the bat. We'll have to pause the brakes on that, though. I mean, it could be it could happen, but, you know, it's something. Did you see Hunter Bryant by the NFL analyst? He was the second best tight end and he went undrafted. Yeah, that was crazy to me. I was surprised we were getting to the 5th, 6th rounds and Hunter Bryant was still on the freaking table. I thought we might have potentially would have went with him later on. I was actually hoping we would go for him later on.
He was somebody too that I was hoping we got into those later rounds. I was really hoping we'd pick him up.
Yeah, I was too. I'm at work or I'd be watching, but I gave y'all a like and I'll watch it after a while. Thanks, guys. Al, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you being in here. So I guess another question I guess we can do for you guys is, you know, we talked about DeForest Buckner, talked about Phillip Rivers and things of that nature. Who's another guy that the Colts got in free agency that really stood out to you guys? Was there one that kind of just made you think, oh, wow, what a really good pickup by Chris Ballard? Jake, is there one that strikes out to you?
Oh, man. Yeah. Trey Burton.
Gotcha.
I think with the we lost Ebron, which I thought, with his attitude issues at the end of last season. It wasn't probably not the worst thing that ever happened to us. For him to join the Steelers, though, there's a lot of personality over there. So I'll be happy to see how that turns out for him. But yeah, Trey Burton. I mean, I think he's somebody who is going to be able to add a lot. He's very versatile as a tight end. I think that he'll be able to kind of catch those deeper balls and stuff. And I think he'll be a perfect complement to Jack Doyle and Mo Alley Cox. I think they all bring a little something different to the table, and I think he's a good mix to throw in on the team. Plus, he has the he has the relationship with Reich, of course, and maybe we'll get a Philly special, an Indy special.
Frank Reich teased that in my press conference when I asked him about Trey Burton. He teased at the fact.
I think it'll be Jacoby catching the ball and not Rivers. But
first off, Josh, before you, that's true. We could see a Jacoby Brissett come in. That could be a play. They said Jacoby Brissett. There's a few plays that they might bring him in to help run. That could be one of them. You never know. But Tristan, see you later, man. Just don't be coming in here doing that. But it's okay, dude. I'm not mad at you. Just don't do that for me. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you again, Tristan. It's okay, Tristan. It's all good, Tristan. Good to have you in here, man. But Josh, any player that stood out to you in free agency?
Roosevelt Nix, the fullback, man. He's gonna be doing work for JT and Marlon Mack. Oh my gosh, dude! You don't realize the value of a fullback until you really think about it. But I mean, I hope that the Colts use him and make sure that he to revive the fullback position in this modern NFL. And I think that he can do it. So I was actually pretty excited for Roosevelt Nix to come to the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, surprised none of you said anything about Xavier Rhodes. But yeah, I agree, Jake, with Trey Burton. I thought that was a very good pickup because, like you said, that Frank Reich connection, he knows him, knows how he works. And yeah, we needed a tight end. And here's what I think about the Xavier Rhodes pickup. I think long-term wise, this trade or this pickup makes so much more sense because of the experience and the leadership he provides for this young secondary. That's the issue. You have Rock Ya-Sin, a second-year guy. Kahari Willis, a second-year guy. Malik Hooker, a fifth-year guy. Actually, fourth year, believe it or not. And then Kenny Moore, basically fifth-year guy, but I mean, Kenny Moore's still young, and Kenny can always learn. Even though he's the best at his position, he still can learn. And Marvell Tell, at some point, he's going to come back, and he's a second-year guy. This secondary is nothing full of young guys. So you bring in a veteran, a guy that has been known to be an all-pro, one of the best at his position at doing what he does. The idea of it is great because our cornerback coach, he actually was Xavier Rhodes' cornerback coach in Minnesota. So you have the relationship there that helps. He provides that leadership for young guys. He's already said how much he's helped guys like Rock Ya-Sin to kind of just get over the sense of you have to quit getting so emotional over one game. Because that was Rock Ya-Sin's problem, is Rock Ya-Sin would a lot of times just get too emotional about not making a play because he's that much of a tryhard that he really wants to be that kind of guy. And I love that. It's just, you got to understand sometimes you're going to mess up. And Xavier Rhodes knows that more than anyone. Even if Xavier Rhodes is never the Xavier Rhodes that we once knew, what he provides for this team long-term in terms of leadership and helping these guys develop is so much more important than what he provides for us on the field for either this next year or 3 years, given how long he actually plays.
Yeah, I mean, all good point, all very, very good points, Derek. But Xavier Rhodes was garbage last year. I mean, he did not play well last year at all. I mean, he went from being all pro to,
Yeah, but he was
Could have been
hurt
a healthy
too, believe it or
I mean,
not. I mean, he was hurt a
yeah.
lot last year.
right.
I mean, it was bad for him.
It
But
was
yes, you're
bad.
right. In man coverage,
Oh, it was
he
bad.
was god awful in man coverage.
So,
And I think he's mentioned that a couple times that, yeah, he was bad in man coverage for sure. Absolutely.
well, thank God he's in the Colts, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. His zone coverage. Hey, the Jofo 2611 with the super chat, the 199 super chat. Jake McLean is the man. I'm going to have to start bringing this guy on more often, but hey, thank you, the Jofo 2611. Thank you so much, man, for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. Thank you so very much. It's very kind of you. Let me make sure I don't lose my spot here on this stuff. But yeah, Jofo, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate that. Jonathan Taylor, rookie of the year. He becomes starter by week 5. There's a possibility. I doubt he wins rookie of the year because most of the time that's a receiver thing or a quarterback thing. And running backs don't do it unless they get 1,500 yards like Zeke did. I mean, and yeah, so I doubt it. Even though I think Jonathan Taylor can definitely have that kind of thing. Jeremy Douglas, what's up, bro? Good to have you in here, man. I didn't see you in the last couple streams, but it's good to have you in here, man. Good to have you in here. Al James Leonard has won a few games for us. Yeah,
for sure.
Darius Leonard has. And, it's quite amazing that, his name was taken off of the defensive player of the year list, or actually was never even added. That's the amazing thing. Darius Leonard said after this year, Stephon Gilmore deserved to win defensive player of the year. That guy was incredible last year, no question. But he said to my name not even being added to the list, this man had 5 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 120 tackles, and 6.5 sacks this year. I mean, what more does a linebacker need to do to gain some damn respect out here, man? If he played 16 games, y'all would be thinking it. I swear.
There's an inside conspiracy against the Colts because they do nothing wrong.
That's true. Well, I mean, under Chris Ballard, they do nothing wrong.
I guess I should, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chris Ballard has had his few bad deals. He's had his few bad draft picks, especially. He's had a couple of them that have just not turned out. I mean, 2017, that draft actually, half of it was composed of total busts, and the other half was, full of guys that are still contributors to this team. So, Elliot, keep telling yourself that, dude. I hope Gardner Minshew just sucks it up. I really do.
I mean, he's saying it right now, but there's a chance they could get Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields.
I think Trey Lance would be really good on the Jaguars. So let's hope he doesn't go there.
Burrow going to Mahomes, yeah, I doubt that. Madden snub. If Kamoko Toure breaks out, do you think the Colts 2018 draft will be the best draft in NFL history? I already think it is. Yeah. I mean, Quentin Nelson, best guard in the NFL, one of the best, maybe the best offensive lineman in football at this point, easily the most dominant. Darius Leonard, best linebacker in football at this point. You got, I'm trying to remember some more names. Braden Smith, your right tackle. PFF really likes Braden Smith. Braden Smith is dealt the raw end of the stick for a lot of reasons. One, he had to move from guard to tackle. That's really difficult to do. You're under the coattails of Quentin Nelson, right? You get no recognition. You always face the best edge rushers on the opposing team because they know Anthony Costanzo and Quentin Nelson are on the other side, right? But yet he still does really well. Another great offensive lineman they got in there that completely goes under the radar. Seriously. And then you got Jordan Wilkins in that draft too. He's our 4th running back now, and he leads the NFL last season in yards per carry. This guy can run, and he's our fourth best running back.
All right. While we're on the subject of the 2018 draft, Jake, where were you when we drafted Quentin Nelson? Because I was with Derek in our apartment eating wings over. So
Yeah.
where were you when we drafted Quentin Nelson?
Yeah, I was at my apartment watching the draft. I mean, it was whenever we took Quentin Nelson, it was like, man, a guard, but little did we know that he was going to be the, destructive force that he is today. So,
all right, let me check this list. I want to make sure I get all this. So yeah, Quentin Nelson first, Darius Leonard with the second pick, and Braden Smith as well, Kamoko Toure, Tyquan Lewis, all in the second round. So yeah, if Kamoko Toure turns out to be anything what we think he can, again, another really good guy. You got Naheem Hines in that draft. You got Naheem Hines and Jordan Wilkins. Darius Fountain, we don't know yet. Still not on the roster yet, but we think he can be. Deion Kane, obviously no longer on the team. Matthew Adams, originally on the team, but then got traded, obviously. And then Zaire Franklin, a linebacker out of Syracuse, still on the roster as mainly a special teams guy. But yes, I'm willing to put that draft as among the best overall drafts that we've ever seen. Now, here's the question, guys. And who's your favorite draft pick, Quentin Nelson or Darius Leonard? Because we had this discussion a month or two back. I said Quentin Nelson, but Cody said Darius Leonard was the better pick. What do you guys think? Who was the better pick in that scenario? Quentin Nelson at 6 or Darius Leonard at 34?
For me, you love a good underdog story, right? So I'm going to go with Darius Leonard. I think he still doesn't get the credit he deserves. He still, everyone talks about Quentin Nelson as being the best guard in the NFL, and he is by far, right? But, Darius Leonard, he has that chip on his shoulder, man, and he's going to be going and driving a lot harder. And I think Quentin Nelson, I think Quentin Nelson is as good as Quentin Nelson is going to be, and that's not a bad thing. I think he's really, really great, but I think Darius Leonard has such a higher ceiling than where he is right now. I think he'll definitely get over, 200 tackles a year, potential defensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? So
this year with DeForest Buckner,
right?
With DeForest Buckner taking out double teams in the middle. Woo! Josh, better pick: Quentin Nelson at 6 or Darius Leonard at 34?
For me, it was Quentin Nelson because I was one of the few people who were like, "Who the hell is Darius Leonard?" But because that's being said, it's like I got nothing bad against Darius Leonard, but at the time we needed an offensive line. So, and when you saw the film of Quentin Nelson, you're like, Andrew Luck's going to be throwing upright instead of being on his back, and he finished second in 2018 behind Patrick Mahomes with 38 touchdowns, 39 touchdowns.
Something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what it was, but.
And you've heard people say he's probably the safest pick in the draft.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's definitely a generational talent. Heck, I never thought I'd be having a lineman's jersey before, but here he is hanging up behind me.
Yeah,
and that's just and because you felt bad for Andrew Luck because he couldn't throw it as fast as he could with the offensive line we had before, but. When you see another man the size of Quentin Nelson manhandle somebody like Jadeveon Clowney in the first game against the Texans where he just flattened him, or when you hear Barry Church yell "fuck" and you can hear it in the mic after Quentin Nelson hit him,
there goes your monetization there, Dad.
Yeah, there goes my monetization. Whatever. We're out here. We're having fun. Whatever.
Yeah, but with Quentin Nelson, he's not just a lineman. He's a personality.
Yeah.
He's somebody who just, he doesn't do much, but when he does something, he makes sure it's on the field.
Yep.
And I do agree that, Darius Leonard is always going to be great because he's going to have that, chip on his shoulder of well, they said, I was the worst one there. I mean, I want him to be on the Madden cover, but I don't want him to be on the Madden cover.
Yeah, we don't want him to be on the Madden cover. No.
Because when you think about it, he's got the best story you could make into a film. the next Blind Side with Darius Leonard, coming from a small town, a small school.
Yeah.
I want to see that be like a 30 for 30. How Darius Leonard overcame all the
really good 30 for 30. Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly why, Josh, that I said Quentin Nelson, because he was the personality that this offensive line needed, because the majority of the pieces were there. They just didn't have the mojo. That's what Quentin Nelson provides for this offensive line, because when he's out there, they know they're allowed to play hard and hurt somebody. That's what Quentin Nelson does. That's what he immediately brought in. He brought that nastiness that this offensive line needed to finally have. That's why I really like it. But again, that's like picking the better of two amazings at some point, because that's so hard to do.
I remember when they were going over the stats he has and how he weighed 10 pounds at birth.
Over 10 pounds. He was 11 pounds. He was 11 pounds. His mom jokes that he was their third and fourth child. Okay, because he was that big. That kid used to drink. They said they always had 4 gallons of milk in the fridge at any given point, because they knew Quentin was going to drink at least half of it. Okay, that's how crazy that kid is. I mean,
2%.
You know that in high school he actually ran cross country?
I saw that. I read that.
Isn't that amazing? A guy that size to be able to run like that. I mean, it's got him in amazing shape. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's how he's able to do what he does, because he's in amazing shape. So Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson will win it. Yeah, it's pretty much it for MVP. Lamar or Kyler, not happening. Lamar won it once. Your MVP season is that, and then you're done and over with. AFC South top quarterbacks. All right, Elliot.
Let me address this. Is this in Madden where you 99 overall everybody else, but then you end up making everybody else look bad by comparison by setting it to rookie difficulty? Because I think that's where we're going with this one here. I like Gardner Minshew because he also has the personality and the Minshew mania. Just because what he wanted to be named, his grandfather wanted to name him Beowulf. I mean, with Gardner Minshew, you're not getting a quarterback. You're getting a personality that's not mixed with that quarterback. I think what's going to happen is your boy Gardner Minshew is going to get replaced by Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Trevor Lawrence.
Number 1, Deshaun Watson easily. Phillip Rivers number 2. Tannehill number 3. Gardner Minshew number 4. I don't know if you agree with that one, Jake.
Yeah, I'd have to say. Yeah.
Josh, Fitty Raps wanting to know if you do Madden on PS4 or Xbox.
I do it on PS4, and I don't do the Ultimate Teams because I don't know how to play it, and I don't want to spend money on it. So I usually just go into franchise mode, max out everybody to 99 overall, set to rookie difficulty, and just decompress for the day I'm having.
I was really hoping for KJ Hill because he fell so much in the draft. I thought he was easily going to go in 4th. Reese, yeah, I wanted KJ Hill too. I mean, he was a really – guys, KJ Hill set the Ohio State record for most receptions in a career. And this guy went in the 7th round of the NFL draft. I mean, think of how ridiculous that is. He set a record at one of the most prestigious colleges in all of football, and yet only went in the 7th round. The Chargers got a damn steal in that. Believe me, they got a steal in that waiting to happen. I promise you. TJ Carey will be so underrated. Yeah, TJ Carey's a good depth piece. I think he fits the mold of what the Colts want to do, which is zone corner, makes plays on tacklers in the backfield. He's not afraid to do that. I just think that's what they wanted to do. And we needed that Ohio State player to keep the streak going. Yeah, for real. TJ Carey is locked down. Derek, you should ask Frank if Trey Burton is working on passing skills. I mean, here's the thing, guys, is Trey Burton is a decent pass catching tight end. I mean, he's more well known for pass catching than Jack Doyle is. I mean, he's going to be our Eric Ebron, but the only difference is Trey Burton can actually run block. Eric Ebron would not. Eric Ebron couldn't. Trey Burton can run block. He enjoys doing it, and that's why you can get double tight end sets with Jack Doyle and Trey Burton because they fit the exact same mold. The only difference is Trey Burton is a better route runner. Trey Burton's a better route runner. He's bigger. He's faster. He's got better hands. I mean, ultimately, I think that Trey Burton really fits into this offense. So I agree with that. The hometown kid, Sheldon Day. Yeah, they actually did say, yeah, he's from Indianapolis. So, Sheldon Day was really happy to be coming back to Indianapolis. It's really cool to have him here. He's another one of those depth pieces. I find it funny, the one guy, we did interview Danny Pinter, our 5th round guard that we drafted in this last year's draft. We did interview him, and he was talking about, we asked him because he has never left the state of Indiana to play football. Never. He played in Indiana in high school, went to Ball State, stayed in Indiana. Now he's going to stay in Indianapolis to play his NFL career. We asked him how great that was. He's like, yeah, it certainly helps for family's sake, not having to move around a lot. You could basically just stay home. So I think that's a great story. That's a really great story. Let's see here, a couple more. Isaiah Rodgers will win Defensive Rookie of the Year. That'd be the dream. I mean, the funny thing is he had 12 interceptions in his career at where was it? It was Massachusetts. Yeah, Massachusetts. 12 interceptions. I mean, the dude's definitely a ball hawk. The dude definitely can catch. Do you think it's going to be a 50-50 split for the entire season for Mac and Taylor? No. I figure at some point someone's going to have the hot hand. Whether that's going to be Mac or Taylor, I don't know yet. But no, that's not going to be a 50-50 split. One of these guys is going to set up.
Watch it be Wilkins, and we're not even talking about
If two of them gets hurt, then if one of them gets hurt, then yeah. I mean, Wilkins is another great option. Really is.
Hines too, catching the balls out of the backfield.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's one thing I'm really looking forward to is seeing Nyheim Hines improve. Yeah. Do you guys really think he's going to do much more? I mean, he's got Phillip Rivers to throw the football to now. I mean, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, he really cemented that spot at being especially a punt returner, at the end of last season. So I think he's definitely got that going for him. As far as, Phillip Rivers played in an offense for so long with Darren Sproles that, that's kind of from what I feel like, that's what the Colts kind of want out of Nyheim Hines is a Darren Sproles type player. And I think, with Sirianni and Reich and Phillip knowing each other and knowing Darren Sproles, I think they will put him in a very similar, scheme.
Gotcha.
Can't complain.
Here's a good question I do want to ask you guys. So 2 questions actually, because this brings up 2 of them. Both of them involve Bobby Okereke. Okay, so Bobby Okereke, obviously the linebacker that we drafted out of last year in the 3rd round, is somebody that we really are thinking high on. He towards the end of the season, he was doing great. PFF actually ranked him as the best rookie linebacker from last year when it came to the last half of the season. It's kind of the same way with Rocky Sin too. Rocky Sin kind of had that resurgence. What do you guys think here? Because people have been talking a lot about, Anthony Walker losing a lot of snaps to feed Bobby Okereke. Do you think that happens, or do you think they keep doing what they were doing where certain packages Anthony Walker's in, certain packages Okereke's in? Jake, do you have anything there?
Yeah, I think that, Anthony Walker, number one, what a hell of a player, and Darius Leonard has come out and said that's like his yin to his yang. You know what I'm saying? So whenever we look to the future of keeping a guy like Anthony Walker, I think it's crucial. I think it's something that we'll have to do. Whenever we go into this season with, sharing the snaps between Okereke and him, I think you're right. I think it will be a split. They'll keep doing what they're doing and putting Okereke in different packages and maybe, more of a pass defense and having Anthony Walker in on more of those run stopping downs. And, why not? You got the players, you got to use them to their strengths. I mean, I think that they both have potential to be, mainstays on our team for quite some while,
Josh, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, I think that they're going to be mainstays because it's only natural that they get better as the season goes on. Because, the first few times, the first few games, you got to get that rookie. You're going to get an experience really fast. It's like somebody who doesn't know how to swim getting thrown into a pool. You got to learn fast or else, you're going to drown. So when we first saw the season start with Okereke and Yasin, we're like, okay, I'm not going to get too worried. It's still the beginning of the season. It's only natural that, they're going to have a hard time adjusting because the NFL moves faster than college football because, college football is designed just to be an air raid type of offensive scheme. So when you have these rookie defensive players, it's going to take a while to adjust to them running the ball first and throwing the ball first. So they're going to have a good time because, if you think about it, they're going to get better. And you know what our defense is going to look like, especially with the linebackers? Leonard, Okereke, and Benayu. 3 of probably the best linebackers we probably ever had as the organization of the Colts. And Yasin is going to start to get more locked down because you're right. He gets too emotional for his own good. He gets inside his own head. And I know that's just the way he is, but he just needs to take a deep breath, understand look, I could have approached it differently, yes, and it is my fault they got 8 yards, but they didn't get the first down. So he's got to start looking at the positives. So I think that
he'll be better this year. I feel like.
Yeah.
He'll be better.
I feel bad for Anthony Walker because the just Colts Nation just trying to tear this guy down. I don't get it.
Terrible.
Anthony Walker is a top 15 linebacker in this league. Do not say that you can give me 14 linebackers that are better in this league than Anthony Walker. This guy can play. He's a run-stopping linebacker. That's why we have him. And Darius Leonard, best linebacker in football, is telling you Anthony Walker is the reason why this defense is getting better and why I can do what I do because of Anthony Walker. If that doesn't tell you what Anthony Walker provides for this team when it comes to his leadership and his confidence, I don't know what else to tell you. Okereke definitely needs to be used in certain situations because of his talent. But when it comes to leadership and making sure this defense is set, Anthony Walker needs to be a pivotal part of this defense. I really hope they sign him after this year, re-sign him. I'm really hoping they give him a contract extension. They can give him a 4-year, $36 to $38 million contract. That would put him up there with around the top 10 best in the league, and it still wouldn't break our bank. It's something that needs to be done. Needs to. All right, Toe Picks in here. How's it going, dude? Good to have you in here. FaZe says, I think Colts are going to get Patrick Surtain in the draft or Micah Parsons. Nah, not happening. Micah's an amazing player, but we don't need a linebacker. We really don't. We don't need a linebacker. We need other things. But he does say, I got to go. So, FaZe, see you later, man. Miles Bryant finally in here. I'm here, man. Good to have you in here, bro. Good to have you in here.
I'll never get over that name, FaZe Water.
Cody's in here. Look at those stats. Hey, Cody. Good to have you in here, man.
Don't worry, Cody. The podcast is in good hands. Derek is a heck of a guy as a co-host. He's good. And I think if you ask him, he'll give you a discount at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's funny. I might be able to hook him up. I'll be able to hook him up if he ever comes into town. I went to see him. He needs to come see me at some point. I'm just kidding, Cody. Darius Leonard was the better value pick but Quentin was the better pick. What Quentin did for our O-line was just so important. Yeah, that's actually a very good way to put it. Better value pick, yeah, Darius Leonard at that point, but the better pick was Quentin. I mean, obviously, like Josh said, he was the safer pick. Let's talk about Khari Willis for a second here, guys, because that's another player that the Colts drafted this year. And I'll be honest, I've told Cody this. I didn't know much about Khari Willis, even though he played in the conference that I watched the most football in when it comes to college football. Never knew about this guy. Didn't know anything about him. I figured, his 4th round pick, probably not going to start right away, something like that. But he comes out and he makes a name for himself. He becomes our starting safety. The guy is a really good tackler in the open field and definitely is aggressive when tackling guys in the backfield. Now let's talk about between him and Bobby Okereke, because Cody loves Khari Willis, okay? Cody really liked that one. I thought Okereke was the better pick, and I think he'll be the better pick going forward. I liked that one more than I liked Khari Willis. Who do you guys think had the better 2019 season, and who do you think going forward is going to be the better pick? Is it going to be Okereke or Willis?
So I think that Khari Willis is a hell of a player. My goodness. Him at Michigan State, I mean, he was good. I can't believe that we got him in the 4th round. And little side note, I actually commented on Khari Willis's one of Khari Willis's Instagram posts saying, "Man, saw you at Michigan State. Can't believe he fell down to the 4th round, whatever." And he actually messaged me back, so I actually got to talk a little.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. So good guy, I think. But with that being said, I think he had a better year last year. I think I see Okereke being the better pick moving forward. But I think Khari Willis will also be a mainstay on the Colts for a while.
Josh, what are you thinking? You taking Bobby Okereke or Khari Willis?
Oh man, that's why you gotta do that to me, man. They're both phenomenal players. But I'm gonna go with Bobby Okereke on this one. It's nothing against
Willis, yeah,
Khari right here. Khari Willis, but Bobby Okereke just seems to fit the defense a slightly bit better, in my opinion, because where I'm trying to remember what play it was, but
was it the interception that he had against Jacksonville and the last time we played him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that showed that the way I like to see linebackers are able to adjust on the fly. Great in man coverage, but also good in just. And I hate the defense, Derek. Tampa too. I hate that defensive scheme so much.
Oh yeah, we know.
So
we know.
much.
Yeah. Anyone that's ever seen our podcast that we do, the Third Down Squad, you'll know Josh absolutely despises the Tampa 2. Okay. It was so much a popular thing on our channel that we actually started making merchandise off the Tampa 2, where Toby would make a thing where Josh's heads were the X's and O's, and it just was that. So that was always fun to hear that. That was really funny. Yes, I know you despise the Tampa 2. I know.
I despise the Tampa 2 defense, and it's just that Bobby Okereke it's also just fun to say his last name. It's just Okereke. But he just has power, Yeah. And that's what I like in a linebacker. And I think that Darius Leonard, Anthony Walker, and Bobby Okereke are going to make a fantastic trio behind the defensive line. So it's nothing against Khari Willis, but I just like Bobby Okereke more.
Well, Okereke was a lot of people were comparing him to Darius Leonard, believe it or not. I mean, long, athletic. Guy can tackle out in the open field very well. Has good ball skills.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah, exactly. You're starting to sense the theme well.
Look at EJ Speed.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah, and EJ Speed. Yeah. Another guy that again
Super
is long, athletic as hell, I mean, it really does stink. I don't know how much we're going to get to see him, but I like the work he's putting in. I really hope he keeps sticking it out because I think at some point his time could come. It could come. If we could see EJ Speed and we think he could be a future piece, Anthony Walker might be on his way out for EJ Speed. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I don't know, but that is something that could potentially happen. So, guys, I think we're going to go for about 15 more minutes here. Kept these guys on for over 2 hours now. Probably going to do it for about another 15 minutes. So, guys, give us some more questions here. Rapid-fire questions. Give us some hot takes, some questions, some predictions, some opinions, something. Give me something so we can keep this train rolling. Fitty Rap, I'm on PS4 too, and also don't play MUT. Do mainly H2H and CFM. If you don't mind, what's your username? We can get a game in. Josh? You want to give this man your username, or do you want to privately put it in the chat?
All right. I'll say it, but I just need to know what yours is because I don't know which one it's going to be because I'm probably going to get a lot. Now, that being said, when I do, I usually don't see it. And if you do send it, then I'll probably see it. But I'm just going to tell you this right now. I am just bad at just, getting together to do a party on PlayStation because usually I'm either watching Hulu, Netflix, or in a game of my own. So if I don't get back to you or answer your invitations, it's nothing against you. It's just that I'm probably doing something else at the moment. So, all right.
Josh is a college student.
All right, now let's see how many of your followers are PS4 players, and I'll send you a message on how many I got. All right. It is Autobot Lucius, capital A, capital L, one word. That's all it is.
You want to spell out the Lucius for him so that way he can.
Yep. And so it's Autobot, like the Transformers you spell, but it's Lucious, one word on PlayStation. I can't wait to see how many I get, and I can tell you how many.
I want to see that. I actually do want to see if somebody actually does that. I think that would be funny. But yeah. So let's kind of get a few more things in here. We can talk about a few more things before I let you guys go. Pinter is the future. He could be. He's going to have to bulk up a little bit, though, because, he's just a little too small for a starting role at this moment in time. Elliot, you in this thing here. The Gardner Minshew hate and disrespect needs to stop. He's a great quarterback. Bro, he's in his first year. He's in his first year, and he didn't have an amazing season. He had a good season, but he didn't have a great season. Stop calling him a great quarterback. You can't call this man a great quarterback when he has a great mustache. That's all he's got going for him. That's all he's got. My man Jake over here has the better goatee than what Gardner Minshew has, okay? Look at this man.
I don't know if you can tell, but I got one starting.
It's sure.
There.
I got one.
Take my word for it. Take my word for it.
I got the facial hair to prove it, okay? It's only been about 3 days, so it's not grown out as much as I want to yet.
And hey, to Elliot Crabtree, we picked up Desmond Patman. What was it? 5th round, 6th round?
It was 6th round. 6th
round. He was like Gardner Minshew's like number 1 target in college. So look for a potential trade there, maybe.
That's a nice Yoda.
Arizona Cardinals win, you must. We do that all the time at work. We do the Yoda impressions. Me and my friend Mario, we do that all the time at work. The Yoda impressions are just
all right. Man. I got a quiz for a chat. If somebody says hello there to you, what is your response? And I'll tell you what the correct response is at the end of the stream. If somebody said, again, to reiterate, if somebody says hello there to you, what's the proper response? I'll let you know.
Why is this chat bugged? I'm not getting anything. Which is odd. I've gotten like a ton of stuff here, but it's not.
Oh, hey, on there it goes. It's trying to move.
Well, it's moving on YouTube, but it's not. It's not.
Yes,
going on.
Yes. Miles Bryant gets it. That's it. Miles Bryant, congratulations.
Well, let's see.
So do you, Arrowhead Sports.
Hold on. I want to see if this maybe hiccups it because I'm not understanding why it's. I don't understand why it's doing this. I'm not getting anything. I'm gonna have to actually go on the YouTube chat and actually do this.
Derek, I'm so proud of your followers. They know Star Wars.
There's some decent ones in here, man. I'm gonna have to see where I'm gonna have to see where this stops, because again, it stopped at the chat at 8:01. I don't know why it stopped there, but Reese KFN says Gardner Minshew's a good player. He just doesn't have the greatest arm, but very talented. I'd be so sad if we didn't re-sign Anthony Walker. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I would be sad too. Reese KFN says, no. Anthony Walker had top 5 stats last year. He's the most underrated and most underappreciated guy on the Colts, other than Kenny Moore. That's very true. National media hates Kenny Moore. Do you see that one thing, Josh, where that CBS Sports guy failed to even mention that Kenny Moore's name when talking about the Colts secondary? They didn't even mention his name.
I actually read the
secondary is terrible.
I read the article before anybody ever said anything about Kenny Moore not being in it, and my initial reaction to the whole thing was, "This dude's an idiot." Whoever wrote that,
yeah.
Shout out to that guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, for real. Let's see here. A couple more of these. The chat's still not catching up. It gave me a few new messages, but it didn't catch up. I don't know why, but that's weird. At least I have YouTube to at least help me out. Reese KFN says always was high on Kari, especially when I heard he was a team captain on the Spartans. Kari is one of the best run defenders, but he needs to improve on pass defense. Yeah, that's true. He needs to improve in that category, make a few more plays in the secondary. He hits hard, though. Yes, absolutely, he does.
He is a dog.
Bobby Okereke actually had a better tackle ratio than Darius Leonard. It's funny. Arrowhead Sports is in here. What's up, dude? Howdy. Again, guys, I would be getting your chats up on here, but again, the chat for StreamYard's just bugged. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm gonna see if I can get this having issues button to work, and then maybe it can help me. Chat isn't refreshing. We'll see if see if we can. I'm not restarting my computer, you idiots. I'm not doing that. Whatever. It'll catch up at some point, I bet.
I got a question for you guys.
All right, sure, go ahead.
So say we get into the season and Jonathan Taylor takes off like a rocket, right? We keep Jordan Wilkins on the roster. You know, we get close to the trade deadline. Maybe there's an injury or two on some other teams. What would it take for the Colts to trade Marlon Mack to another team? What would you guys want to see another team have to give up?
I mean, Marlon Mack to me is a top 10 running back. I think you could at least get a decent you could get at least a decent pick out of that. I wouldn't imagine you couldn't get anything decent. I mean, they traded away David Johnson. The Arizona Cardinals traded away David Johnson for a second and a fourth. So I mean, you could get a second rounder out of Marlon Mack easily. You know, and second rounder would be a good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Josh. Miles Bryan saying Xbox gang rise up. I see a bunch of Xboxes in here in chat now. Reese KFN says, who gets more yards, Campbell with a 16-game season or Michael Pittman? That's interesting. I actually said Campbell yesterday in the live stream. I said Campbell gets more yards. Touchdowns, I think Pittman owns him in that, maybe even in receptions. Probably will be receptions. But I'm thinking Campbell gets yards. What about you guys?
Yeah, if you're talking about especially yards after catch, I mean, I think that's where Paris is really going to, if he can ever, I know he was very injured, had a bunch of injury stuff going on last year. It seemed like whatever he did, he just couldn't get healthy. But you could go back to the shades of Ohio State. I mean, this guy is a playmaker. You know what I mean? This guy is somebody that you can, put the ball in his hands and let him work. You know what I'm saying? To get those extra yards, get you out of tough situations, maybe, a 2nd and 20, 2nd and 25. You're throwing a, quick 5-yard screen, 10-yard slant out to Paris and, letting him do his stuff. So I definitely see Paris, contributing very well. If you really think about it, of course, Pittman's really is going to have him up on touchdowns, of course, but I could see both of them really getting around maybe 600 yards this season.
Fitty Rap, I think I misspoke when I said Matthew Adams got traded. I don't think that's true. I think I messed up. I'm just gonna make sure of that just to be sure, because I want to make sure I'm not wrong on that. Yeah, I was wrong. I think I accidentally misspoke on that. So don't talk about that anymore. But I'm just kidding, guys. But Josh, who do you think gets more yards?
I think Paris Campbell, but that's because I think, like we said earlier, Pittman is probably gonna get the touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Campbell for the yards, but Pittman for the touchdowns.
Gotcha. Miles Bryan saying, "Damn, Derek, nice Yoda impression." Do or do not. There is no try. Yeah, General Kenobi's in chat. I swear to God. Miles Bryan saying, huge Star Wars fan, by the way. And same with Arrowhead Sports. Fitty Rap says, friend request sent, Josh.
All right. Fitty Rap. I have to reinstall Madden. I had to make room for Call of Duty, so I'll try to figure something out. If I don't accept your friend request, it's nothing against you. It's just I'll probably forget, but I'll probably do it tomorrow.
Josh, Miles Bryan says Jedi or Sith.
Oh, that's hard. The Sith. I got to go with the Sith because I love Darth Vader and just pretty much everything about like the dark side, because it looks like you can get away with a lot of stuff. And I'm just waiting for that Darth Vader solo movie. But, I got to go with the Sith because I think I'd look good in like a black cloak or something like that.
It's funny because there's some guys I follow on YouTube. And, Josh, you know who I'm talking about. There was one time they were playing Mario Kart, and one of the guys made a weird Yoda voice. And he said, they started saying like, it sounds like Yoda having an orgasm. And then they just start saying really weird stuff with Yoda voices. It was so messed up. That's every time I think of Yoda now, though. That's what sucks about it. And so Reese KFN says, I'll donate $10 if Campbell gets more yards. I would definitely like to see a 1,000-yard season from him. All right, Campbell, you need to have more yards, man. I need these $10. I'm just kidding, Reese KFN.
He needs to buy 2 Little Caesars pizzas.
I appreciate you, Reese KFN. You know you're a real one in this chat. And Miles Bryan saying, bro, the Sith are nuts, though.
Yeah. Hey, Miles. I will give you a shout out if you put in the entire tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise in the chat.
Miles, there's your challenge, dude. You got 2 minutes.
I'll give you 2 minutes to put the entire tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise in the chat.
Oh man, you guys. All right. Guess we really only have a few more minutes here. Couple more.
No, we gotta wait 2 minutes for Miles Bryan to see if he follows up on the tragedy of Darth Plagueis.
I'm waiting. But I mean, I'm running out of questions to ask you guys. I've kind of asked the majority of everything here. Where do you guys think Ryan Kelly sits amongst top centers right now? Me personally, he's top 3. Jake, where are you thinking for him?
Yeah, top 3, if not 2 or 1, honestly. I mean, I think there's an argument there for him to be, probably the best center in the NFL. I mean, and he's got years ahead of him too. So that's another player we're going to have to sign for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Josh, what about you?
Yeah, he's definitely top 3. I mean, he's pretty much the pointy tip of the the offensive line, because an offensive line is only as strong as their center because it just goes outwards, not inwards. So he's top 3.
Very good.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know why the chat just messed up on me like this, but
it's probably the whole tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise being put in by Miles
no,
Bryant.
it's not. It cut out on me ever since 8 o'clock. I don't understand why, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, receivers here. Cody and I have had a lot of debate about this. We all can agree T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman, Zach Pascal, Paris Campbell. Those are the 4 that we know we can agree on who makes this roster. 5th and 6th, assuming there is a 6th. Who is the 5th and 6th wide receivers? I said Marcus Johnson and Darius Fountain. Who do you guys think it has that option? Josh, do you have anyone else that you differ from?
No, I think Fountain will be the last one. I think because we got him back in 2018, if I remember correctly, like you said. And I think he's finally, and from what I saw when I believe you guys also interviewed him, right?
You said Darius, right?
Yeah.
We interviewed Darius and Zach. Yep.
And I can tell that Darius really wants to start to like flourish. So I think Darius Fountain is going to be the last, I guess, like the 5th or 5th one signed or whatever, because he's got that ability and that new passion to be better than what he has been.
All right. Jake, who are you thinking?
Yeah, there's a common theme really on the Colts this year, and that's the familiarity with Coach Reich. And I mean, you see people like Trey Burton being added to the squad and Phillip Rivers, people who have that connection with Reich. And, you look at Marcus Johnson and he's the same way, right? He's got the familiarity with the coach. And I think he is for sure the 5th receiver here. I see what happened to the chat there.
Yeah, I'm seeing it too. Josh is
Miles Bryant, the mad lad. Oh my God, he did it. Wait, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. The mad lad did it.
Doing it. Going to, but Miles,
oh my gosh, he did it.
You're making this man's day. I love you, man. But yeah, so Lawrence Owen saying sup, sorry I'm late, was doing my live stream at my job. No problem, Lawrence. We're almost done. We're almost out of here anyways. But appreciate you stopping in though. Fountain will make it, if I believe also. I agree. I think Fountain's gonna make it. Costanzo, Nelson, Kelly, Glowinski, and Smith do it for Coach Mudd, greatest O-line coach of all time. That's right. Joshua Batts, thank you so much, man, for doing that. Yes, absolutely. I think this offensive line has something more to prove. Miles Bryant's just so cold with it. But is he done yet?
The tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Oh my.
Did he finish? Can you tell, Josh? Is he finished?
Yeah.
All right. He's done. All right. Miles Bryant, thank you for that.
Miles Bryant, you made my night, you mad lad. Thank you for that. And you truly are a true Star Wars fan. Oh my gosh.
He Googled that shit. He Googled it right beforehand. Just be like, oh crap. All right, here we go. All right, guys. So I guess last question that I'll ask before I let you guys go. One player you're really looking forward to watching this year for the Colts more than anyone else. Who is it? Jake?
It's got to be Phillip Rivers, right? I mean, that's the gas pedal to the whole team, and I think that it's going to be really interesting to see him play in a Colts uniform. I think that first game is going to be surreal. I actually, in 2016, went to the Colts game where the Colts played the Chargers at Lucas Oil. So I got to see Phillip Rivers play in at Lucas Oil Stadium once already. So it'll be surreal to see him out there in a Colts jersey. And I think that his success is going to dictate a lot of the success for the other parts of the team. So he's going to be the one I'm watching.
Reese KFN, I agree with you on Ashton Doolin. A lot of people saying that, but I don't want Ashton Doolin. I want Darius Fountain. But I understand the importance for special teams. Josh, one player that you're excited to watch for this year.
DeForest Buckner. That's the one I'm excited for because he's finally the anchor that this defense needed to finally get it through the man, I'm so excited. Put the tragedy darts play against the Wise. I'm losing thought here.
All this man.
All right, but yeah, I'm saying DeForest Buckner because that defense, you're gonna have Buckner up the middle, and who's gonna be behind him? Darius Leonard to go get the quarterback or the running back. Dude, This defense is built to be cohesive, and that's what's gonna make it like a top 5 defense this year.
Yeah, I'm excited for Darius Leonard. This is the season, boys. If he stays healthy all year, we could see some records. I'm talking major records. I'm talking cash money, just big dropping records. We're talking music records that haven't made records like this. I mean, this guy is on a mission. This guy is ready to go. I really want to see Darius Leonard do what he wants to do, and I want to see a 200 tackle season. I really want to. But I think that's going to be it for this time, guys. Thank you so much again for everyone that tuned out today for the subscriber live stream. Really appreciate every one of you and all of you that hung around and asked questions. I want to thank Jake McLean and Josh Neitz for being here and doing this with me. You guys were awesome. It was great having some laughs and conversation with you guys. And thank you guys so much again for being here. And as always, go Colts.